Good morning to you, cherished viewers. You are welcome to the Koko Digest Morning Show. I am your host for today, Yara Awuno. We are coming to you live from the studios of Clock TV, and you can also catch us on GoTV channel 184. And if you're not in the comfort of your home, you can join us via social media, particularly on Facebook and on YouTube. Just search for Clock TV GH. Like, share, and subscribe to our pages first before you join in the live stream, the Koko Digest Morning Show. You can also follow us on all other platforms on social media as well. Now, here's what to expect for the conversations for today. As on the lifestyle segment, we're going to be understanding Down syndrome. What does it mean when someone has Down syndrome? What to expect, how parents should handle it, what medical conditions comes with it, everything to understand when it comes to the condition that is Down syndrome. Then also in the main discussion, we're going to be talking about the environmental assessment by the EPA, and this is also in relation to the LI 2504. And then business and sports will be bringing us news as well. And also the weather report will be coming up by Peter Insian also. Now let's prepare to be motivated for today, and then we proceed. Weekend approaches, we like to motivate ourselves so we get something to, ponder upon as we go into rest. And today's quote is by John Green, and he says, "There is hope even when your brain tells you there isn't." There is hope even when your brain tells you there isn't. Now, sometimes stress, sadness, or anxiety can make a person feel hopeless. This quote is just here to remind us that feelings can change and better days can still come, even when things seem difficult right now. And sometimes even people around us tend to say that once we have life, we always have another opportunity to do something. So as long as you're alive, there's still hope for you. So even if your brain is telling you there's no hope, just tell yourself, as your heart is beating, there is definitely hope. This is the quote for today. I hope that it inspires you and ushers you into a very good and amazing weekend coming up, as we all deserve the rest. Up next is the weather report with Peter Insian. Then we move into the online and print review. welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, it's time for our online and print review. But before we get into that, we'll take our weather report and the word for today. So Peter will be giving us the weather report for today. He's here with me and Beverly and Annabelle as well. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning.
I hope we're well.
Up and grateful.
Divine selection.
Another beautiful Thursday morning.
All right, Beverly, how are you?
I'm doing great. I like your combo this morning. What was the inspiration?
The Lord provided it from above. Yes, you're also looking very good. Is it pink or purple, for the month of mental health awareness?
Right, purple, yeah. And this outfit is from Zoos and Needles.
Okay. So where are they located? How can we contact them?
They're located at Noah. Yeah, you can find them on social media, Zoos and Needles.
Zoos and Needles. Okay. So expect an outfit from it. Right, Peter, what's up with the weather?
Yes,
we need more rain. The sun is oppressing us.
Exactly, but today, GMS says we should expect some few rains in some parts of the country.
Is Accra part?
Unfortunately, Accra, it's not part. You are still going to experience the sunny condition. And we are hoping that maybe from tomorrow we will get some rains. The weather is very, very hot, especially when you go out around 10 a.m., 11 thereabout. It's so bad.
Crazy.
And so if you have a car and you don't have air conditioning, it's better you park it and walk. At least you get fresh air.
Oh, but you get some shade from the sun, so it helps. If anything, they should be giving the pedestrians lift. Right, so take us away, please.
Yes, all right. And so thank you very much for joining us this morning. And it's time for the weather report. And this is from the Ghana Meteorological Agency, the 24-hour forecast for Ghana. It should be displayed on your screen by now. Thank you very much. And so this morning, according to GMET, partly cloudy conditions will prevail over most parts of the country this morning. And so from Aflao to Wa, it's going to be partly cloudy, with the exception of Takrade, Aksim, Goso, and Sunyani. That should expect a 40% mist condition. And as usual, GMET advises that when it's misty, drivers, early commuters should make good use of their headlights and reduce overspeeding, especially those in the mountainous areas. And then as the day progresses into the afternoon, Accra, Aflao, Kaswa remains sunny. So these places, they should expect, sunny periods. It's going to be very scorchy. It is going to scorch with a temperature ranging from 30 to 33 degrees Celsius. The people of Aflao, Accra, and Kaswa. And so if you are now leaving the comfort of your home, make sure that you put on clothes that will not absorb heat, but rather, so in basic school, we were taught something that when the sun is very scorchy, you don't put on black clothes because those clothes absorb heat, but rather you put on white. And so that just some basic, signs there, and ensure that you carry water along with you. You take in more water to avoid dehydration, I guess.
And Peter, you are saying they shouldn't wear black, they should wear white. Somebody will say they can't wear white because white gets dirty early. So how can they compromise?
So you can get any other color that actually will not, absorb heat. But then this is to those who, excuse my words, do not have cars and will be using, public transport and be having most of the activities.
They have Lexus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to our market women who do not even have makeshifts and are selling, under the sun should, ensure that they get those clothes to, save them a little bit. But I think we will talk more about that. And so still in the afternoon as well, the people of Cape Coast, Takrade, Axim, Ho, Koforidua, and Akim of that, there is a 40% chance of rain this afternoon. Koforidua, Axim, and Ho, and its environs should take note. There's a 40% chance of rain. And then for the people of Kumasi and Obuasi, it is going to be scorchy as well. And Takwa, Sefibekwai, Ketikrachi, and Ntampo, there's 30% chance of rain this afternoon entering into the evening. So the people there should take notes. Goso, Sunya, Techiman, sunny period as well, with temperature ranging from 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. And the northern region, specifically Tamale, Damango, Bolgatanga, Nelerugu, it is going to be very sunny with the temperature ranging from 30 to 39 degrees Celsius. It is going to be very, very sunny. So the people at the north should take notice of that. And as this day progresses into the evening as well, Accra, Kaswa, and its environs remains partly cloudy, with Kufrodia, Akimboza, Obuasi, Takwa, those coastal areas and the forest areas, there's a 40% chance of rain in those areas, 40% chance of rain. And so GMET advises that the people within that environment should take note and act accordingly. And then for the northern region, it is going to be partly cloudy, with the people of Wa also, there's a likelihood or chance of 30% chance of rain at Wa this evening. And so, Yaira, basically that is what GMET, is telling us today.
All right. Thank you so much for the update. So let's also take note and do the needful. Peter says we should not wear too much black. We should find, outfits that would not absorb too much heat. And yes, I would also say, if you have an umbrella, use it. Umbrellas are not only for the rain. Get some shade from the sun as well so that you don't develop skin issues. Yes, thank you so much. And also now moving into the word for the day. I hope you have bars for us.
Not necessarily, but you will form a sentence with it.
Yes, please.
And maybe don't try to decode it.
Yes,
let it remain as it is.
Yes, please. Right. So the word for today is flourish. The word for today is flourish. Now, the meaning is to grow or develop successfully. To grow or develop successfully. So the simple explanation is doing very well in life. That's also contextual. So we have an example here. Children flourish in loving environments. Children flourish in loving environments. And we can even liken this to plants, give them good feed and soil and fertilizer, nutrients. Yes, the plants would also flourish. And, our animals as well, when we give them feed. Sorry, I used feed for plants. Then a word similar in meaning is thrive. A word similar in meaning to the word flourish is thrive. So if something is flourishing, it is also thriving. And then the words opposite in meaning to the word flourish, we have decline. So we have decline, we have deteriorate. These two words would be the words that mean that if something is not flourishing, then it's in a decline or is declining or it is deteriorating. Yes, my colleagues.
Yeah.
Flourish.
So I would say that some people flourish in power while, people continue to suffer. Some people flourish in power while people continue to suffer.
I'm trying to bring words together. Yeah. So I can say that you see a lot of people. I don't know whether I should go with flourish or thrive. But these days we see a lot of young people flourishing with creativity. That's what I was trying to see. And to add meaning to the sentence I'm saying is that these days we see a lot of young people thriving when it comes to creative arts. And it's something I really, me from being a creative person, I just hope that a lot of young people would, venture into creativity. Yeah. Because there's a whole lot of money in there.
Okay, so this money in their keys.
There's also a saying that goes that you see most of our billionaires in this country, once they engage with the media, the kind of stories that they tell us, the things that they did to be able to flourish or thrive.
Right.
When you listen to those things, you're not able to draw the line because most people are into the things they spoke about.
Like somebody said that I started a business once.
Somebody
allegedly, I didn't mention anybody's name. Let me use the golden way.
Some of these things,
well, it's a matter of time.
These people are supposed to motivate us and just tell us the truth. This is it. This is how it's going to be.
Peter, where
you are not there,
but, You see, we have books. We listen. Once you tell me something that I do not know, I'll not sit on it. I'll go and do research and find out. What you're telling me, maybe basically you said maybe in 2000, the value of money was this, and one can maybe do something with, let's say, 5 cedis or 10 cedis, and you were able to do something with 2 cedis, and now we are seeing the growth of it and all that. So I'll go back there and research and find out those people who also started the same
businessman
with that.
The businessman is
what happened and all that. Some of this.
God.
When we say the grace of God, that's fine. Nobody will doubt that because God is working. God is a miraculous God that can do
but
things.
But telling you 1 CD to start a business is not feasible.
Please, I beg you.
And even with that, they said,
problem for me this morning.
according to the book of James,
which
faith without works. I mean, so even with that, we'd have to do something. There's some form of physical, but a human being or her.
Yes, so this conversation has basically ushered us into the online and print review segment. Please do send your comments and your thoughts to the WhatsApp number that will be displayed onto your screens or is displayed onto your screens currently. And then also onto the YouTube or Facebook live stream. We will do well to read them here. And when the phone lines are opened, I will also alert you. So you can call and also share your thoughts. So what's happening? What have you picked up, in this, I think it was just a day. Yes, between Tuesday, Wednesday, and today. What's happening? What's trending?
A whole lot has been happening here over the media, a whole lot. But yesterday, I picked a press release from the Ghana Water Company, and they're saying that there will be an interruption in their water supply along the Western Accra. And then we have places like Dansoman, Mamprobi, Mataheko, Lasebi Okoshi, Kolebu, La Paz, Makati Hill, Bawe, Malam, Tesano, Dakuma, North Kaneshi, Dome, Achimota, Ablekuma, and its surrounding communities. And they're saying that their technical team and the engineers are working towards this. So I just hope that if there are people out there who are listening to us, they can, put appropriate measures in place so that they will not fall short of, the water. Yeah, they can get storage bowls and keep water. Then,
but how many people are depending on the Ghana Water Company?
A lot of people. Even in my area, they tell you that the water comes on maybe Wednesdays or Thursdays. So on Wednesdays and Thursdays, if you are not home to keep water or to save water for yourself, then it means you're going to be using pure water.
Because there's also a large number of us who depend on boreholes.
But not everybody will have boreholes.
Okay,
I think this is commendable. Timely information is something
so that they can also take action. Now, some sad news or a bit of sad news actually broke out yesterday as the Nigerian actor Alex Ekubo. Broke on Monday. Sorry, yes, I have the document here. I think I saw it yesterday. Yes, Alex Ekubo, a Nigerian actor, died at age 41 after a battle with cancer. According to family sources, he passed away on Monday, May 11, and he's known for his versatility, good looks, and has also been out in the public eye for months, with his last social media post in December 2024. And yes, we would like to send our condolences to the family and loved ones of Alex Ekubo. He, let's even support by watching some of his movies and his works and all of that. Let's honor his memory. May his soul rest in peace.
Such a vibrant and, let me say, beautiful young man.
Yeah, exactly. This means that we just have to support people whilst they are alive and all that. Being kind wouldn't take anything away from you. Just show kindness. We are in a world that you can be anything at all. But showing kindness is something that will take a long way. Put smiles on the faces of people and what have you. And on this note, I would like to say thank you to everyone who wished me yesterday. Yesterday was my big day. And I wanted to do it in silence, but then, we will not allow it. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. I really appreciate your time and everything, the prayer and everything. May God make us, great and bless us.
the kind of feeling that comes with birthdays, you become overjoyed and overwhelmed. The messages, sometimes you hear from ghosts, like people that you don't hear from them 5 years ago. But that's the beauty of it.
And I think that's one of the small ways we celebrate one another. Right. You know, trying to mark our birthdays and remember our friends and loved ones' birthdays. And, you know, Alex Koko's death just comes to tell us that life is always unpredictable. As much as, you know, we may have routines and monotonous, you know, way of doing certain things. Life can just, in a minute, change everything. And, I mean, from his diagnosis till, you know, we lost him, his life definitely took a different turn.
Exactly.
And like you said, we should, you know, celebrate people while they are alive. I think even with the TGMA awards also, we heard that, you know, the Lifetime Achievement Award was now given to Daddy Lumba. But, I mean, Daddy Lumba, he's been alive for all this while. Exactly. He's been in the music industry for so long, and yet it was only after he died that... So in that time, how is he going to feel that, okay, yes, Ghanaians appreciate me, my people, the industry, my fans. So yes, like you're saying, let's give people their flowers as they're here so that they know that they're loved and cherished, rather than waiting till some tragedy takes them away or tragedy hits them.
Yeah. So
sweetheart.
Away from international, let's come down to Ghana. There's something we've been talking about for a very long time now, and we've been asking questions. I remember 2-3 weeks ago, Beverly also asked that same question. Where are the buses? Where are the 100 buses? Because...
Have you found them?
No, not yet. People are still suffering. Because people are still suffering. When it is 6:30, 7, 5:30, thereabouts, go to the various, you know, stations. You see the queues there. People are rushing. It's so serious. And it looks as though we are not talking about it. And that is one of the things that I for lack of better words, let me say hate about Ghanaians. When there is an issue, we just talk about it for a week, 2 weeks, maximum a month. Then we let go of it. But the situation still persists. If it is pressure that our leaders understand, let's continue to mount pressure on them so that they'll do the needful. Because the buses are not in. Drivers are still charging exorbitant prices, irrespective of what we are seeing in terms of macroeconomic indicators and all that. With what the president, in collaboration with the energy sector and all that, reducing some, you know, prices and all that. Drivers are still charging exorbitant prices. We are not seeing anything. People are struggling to get car. When it rains, it makes the situation worse. You not even get car. And so we are still asking, where are the buses? What is the transport union doing? What is GPRT doing? What is next for the ordinary Ghanaian? Are the buses not serviceable, or the buses are not working? What we want to know, or the buses are working but on different routes. If the buses are working but on different routes, then it means that it is not solving the actual problems that it is meant to solve. And so we are still waiting on government. We want to hear from the Ministry of Transport and the, you know, other stakeholders who are responsible for this thing to know what was actually going on, because it's very sad.
Right. You know, with most of our conversations we've had here, even with, you know, the interviews talking about certain issues, we find that the running theme is the lack of enforcement, or very poor enforcement of our laws. And so I think it's a general thing now. Ghanaians know, or most Ghanaians tend to believe that you know, we will say it, but nobody will do anything. I mean, there was a task force deployed and all of that, but for how long were they also able to do that? You know, and we hear all these things. There's always a task force doing something, but after some time, the task force goes back to wherever they came from, and then the situation persists. So Ghanaians will now say, there's no use, let's just pay and go. After all, by the grace of God, I can afford this exorbitant price. Let me just find my way home and lay my head down to rest. And that's what's happening, and these people are taking advantage of that.
That is not right.
It is not right, notwithstanding, but that's the issue on ground.
So it means that I don't want to say that a time is coming that if we don't stop this issue, that we talk about things, we don't act, Ghanaians will get fed up and be like, I remember there was an initiative, and on social media, when you go to the comment section, it's part of this political something, they will just say it and they will not act. And basically, when you check over time, it has been happening. We hear about initiatives, nobody does anything about it, and it's just there. The situation still persists, and that is when it gets to a point when the ordinary Ghanaian would want to find his or her own means to actually, correct the problem or solve it, and that in return brings a whole lot of problems. Even before this, some places in Kumasi, we heard that people were actually beating maids and all of that, which is also against the law and all that. But here lies the case. This issue has been reported. We have authorities. They acted, but not to, the latter. And the situation is still persists. What should the ordinary Ghanaian do? Understand? So I think that information is very imperative. It's better you come out to tell us, oh, maybe this is the point we've gotten to. But for reason A or B or C, it is going to be delayed. I mean, we will get to understand. Like you rightly said, for how long are we going to be exploited? For how long?
Just like 1 month ago, we heard that the 100 buses. 1 month ago, right? Yeah. We heard that the buses are here, and up to now, we don't even see the buses. Kaji that was the yes, the buses are in, and maybe they are working in some places that we haven't. But even with that, deployment should reach everyone.
And for now, it could be maybe one bus per district or constituency or something. But at least let us see the evidence. This same enforcement issue, I think I saw something on social media, just briefly touching on it. It was about market women who were breaking down a fence that had been put up, to seal off a portion of the market for construction of a new market for them. And these women were in, red scarves and, breaking the fence. And this is because they were being sacked from their, selling points. And it makes you wonder that what again do we need to do to make Ghanaians understand that no one is above the law? And because obviously this is an enforcement problem again, because if we were respecters of the law and, the enforcement bodies, this shouldn't be happening. But then there's another side to it that when these people behave this way, even the transportation industry, the church drivers and the maids, they are behaving this way for a reason, which is, so it is like a chain reaction to something that maybe we may need to find the actual problem. Because with the market women, obviously it is a space issue that, okay, if you're moving me from here, where are you sending me? Am I going to be getting equally or if not more than what I used to get, when it comes to sales in this same, place or not? And then if not, then they also, try to push back. So now the issue is that as you're trying to do this thing, what alternatives are you bringing? The same with the church issue, that if it is fuel, if it is maintenance, if it is whatever other problem, maybe these shadow boys, issue phenomenon is also a very terrible thing now that they come with the cars to the bus stop and somebody will hijack this car and be loading for you. And these men, they demand money from them, and this causes them to also want to increase the price so that they can be paying off these guys. What are we doing about these shadow boys who don't want to find actual, respectable means of income so that they can leave the driver and his mate alone?
Yeah, like you rightly stated, it's a chain reaction, and it starts from somewhere. Something triggers something, and it leads to another. And so, like the market women situation you made mention of, I feel that sometimes they feel reluctant to move because they didn't get the space they are occupying on a silver platter. Some of them even pay to get to that place. And so if you want to move them without any alternative, it's going to be a problem. And so I think that if spaces such as that, it's for government. Whoever comes there, if the place, you want to use the place for, market and what have you, if they come there, you don't have to take something from them. Once you take something from them and there's a need to renovate or do something there, that's where the problem comes. Because the person feels entitled to the place because somebody took money from them, which is illegal. And that's, if you want to move me from there, I need some compensations, or you need to give me a place that I can equally, make money, like Yaya said. And I think that, like she rightly stated, it's lack of enforcement. Even with this driver issue, some time ago when we had some interactions with them, we were talking about the fact that the problem is not solely them. It's what they are car owners are demanding. They just tell you this week, this amount I need from
charging.
you. And which, of course, when you take a look at their operations and all of that, that amount of money, they can't get it within that stipulated time. And all that they have to do is to charge exorbitant prices. And so when you go to them, they tell you to talk to their car owners. And that has been a problem as well. But I think that if we are enforcing the law, it will get to whoever is hiding behind, the shadows.
Right now, it looks like the private transport operators are even dictating to government what government should do, rather than government telling them what to do to help its citizens. Still on enforcement, I want us to talk about something that has also come up from the FD. When was the last time you took trophy?
Hey, please, I'm being healthy.
When was the last time you took trophy, Peter?
I don't recall.
Why? So, Pemari says somewhere in 1999, trophy was banned from Ghana due to, some health risk associated to high fat when it comes to the meat itself. Yeah. Now, it's resurfacing again. They've seen a lot of trophy in the system now, and I don't know how they intend to work to, still educate people that it's unhealthy to be consuming some of these things. That's what I saw online yesterday.
Yeah. I think it comes up every now and then that, yes, trophy is actually banned. But people would also argue that this is their source of income. Because when you're going to, I think the one I'm most familiar with is going to the Volta region. You see the vendors, yam and trophy. And I mean, you've been driving for a long time.
Right, something that will have long time effect and giving you heart diseases and hypertension.
I'm not justifying. I'm just saying that you end up finding more people still patronizing these wares as well, even though there are other, delicacies to buy, the shrimps and all of that. But you realize that maybe the trophy is cheaper.
No, trophy now is this expensive. They are selling trophy. I know because I asked when I go, I asked for the prices because I know you're not supposed to consume. It was banned. So sometimes when I go, I just ask just to know how much they are selling them. And this across the road, when you walk to this one kinky seller,
please don't. We don't want to put them in trouble.
They're selling the trophy for as high as 30 cedis, 35 Ghana cedis, something that's supposed to be banned. So will I be a bad person if I choke them right?
No, so the situation is that with issues like this, there should be more information, and not just any information. They should explain to the general public why you are supposed to or not supposed to take it and all that. Like you rightly said, 1999 is like over 20 years ago, and like you said, it has been resurfacing as time goes on. And so I think if it has become so imperative that people need to know, and it is causing so much health, problems, then I think the responsible institution, FDA, and our health professionals will come together, educate us on why we shouldn't, actually take it. So I think with that,
I seem to always attribute everything to poverty, and when in the grand scheme of things, it is the truth. Because what if the trophy business is a low capital intensive, endeavor. And someone is out there, I need to feed my kids, I need to, survive. So, okay, I have this amount of money. What can I go into? Now, this trophy business becomes an option. Then you realize that they venture into that. And it is just because it's a means of survival, not because they don't care about the health, public health, or even their own well-being. So, some of these issues, for it to fully be eradicated, the standard and cost of living that has to be checked and fixed. Anyway, coming to the trends I have here, the Ghana Education Service has also warned teachers against aiding WASI malpractice. So we have the Minister for Education, speaking on that briefly. So let's take a look and then we discuss.
I urge all supervisors and invigilators to maintain highest standard of professionalism. Those who are caught aiding cheating will be severely punished. I wish to remind heads of schools that are consistently cited for examination malpractice to change the narration this year. or risk being changed. Because if you cannot change the situation, then we will change you. The situation will change you. So if you were cited 3 years ago, you were cited 2 years ago, your school was cited last year, then you have no chance this year if you are cited again. Then it's clear that you cannot change the situation. So we will change you, or the situation must change you for us to get others to come and help us improve the situation. I wish to remind all supervisors and regional directors of education that all teachers and supervisors who were linked to examination malpractice last year and are being processed for sanction are banned from the examination centers. They are not supposed to come near the examination centers. They are also expected not to have anything to do with the entire examination process, including marking. They are not expected to have anything to do. I urge all supervisors and invigilators to maintain higher standard of professionalism.
Right, so that was the Director General for the Ghana Education Services, Professor Ernest Davis, and I made a mistake. The video of the minister is for the hostel fees, which will come to after this. So yes, he mentioned that if you are caught doing this, they are going to, take very stringent sanctions against teachers who are aiding in, examination malpractice. Yeah. And I mean, it's good we are hearing things like this to keep the people in check. But I want to ask, can this examination malpractice, the increase in it, be, linked to a possible decline in the quality of education because of the overwhelming number of students these days?
Yes, to some extent. To some extent. And it has been something that whole of stakeholders have been talking about, because why on earth would students want to copy if they were prepared enough or they had enough preparation, they took their lessons seriously. And one thing I like about SHS is that right from SHS 1, you have your syllabus, what you're supposed to learn, SHS 2, 3, and they don't set the questions outside the things that we learn.
Yeah.
And so what would let me, I don't know how to put it, but what would actually make a student, copy is lack of, preparation, or maybe proper, studies. Right. You understand? But if you are prepared enough, you're able to go through all the syllabus, you had, enough teaching time with your teachers, with you supervising you, with enough preparation, I don't think you'll be able to do that. And because, like, over the years, we've had, situations like this persisting, especially with the rollout of the free SHS, and we had the traffic light. People would say the traffic light, the red, green, people going out, and then a whole lot, there was, a burden on, teachers. Teachers were burdened because that same teachers would have to teach this batch. They wouldn't go home, stay behind, and teach the next batch and what have you. And so these teachers, some of them become so exhausted that some people do not even get the actual, time with their teachers. The teachers are tired, so they don't get to, teach them, cover the syllabus and what have you. But those who even want to, they wouldn't even do it, to the maximum, what is expected of them.
And also when you look at the double track system, it's like what they're supposed to learn like a whole semester when they were not doing the double track system. They had to force and then learn everything before they go. So it's like there was kind of like pressure on the children as well, like the pupil also, not like the teachers also, because it's like there's pressure on the teachers and there's pressure on the kids as well. They're supposed to learn everything at a go before you go.
But I think the president mentioned that they will be scrapping the double track system.
They've actually scrapped it now. Which is causing a major problem because now in terms of infrastructure, it's not helping, honestly.
But, this question is also on my mind, maybe because it was our time. But 10, 15 years ago, were there issues of teachers aiding in examination practice, more practices, as much as it is now?
Yes. So
because the best I remember we would get was maybe if for some fortunate reason on our part, the invigilator goes out to take a call.
Right.
Then, everybody's scrambling a little. And even that, a lot of people are scared. So they still just keep their head down. But an invigilator or a teacher coming and then you write on the board or something. The best we would get that was close to that was mock questions. Yeah. That's even before the WASI would begin. Yeah. Then, you try to solve them. If you're lucky and it comes in the exams, then you're good to go. But now, a whole phenomenon of teachers actually aiding students in this malpractice. So, was it there, 10, 15 years ago?
I feel like it's okay. Let Peter.
Yes, so it wasn't because per research and people we've engaged, it wasn't. Like you rightly said, the only time you could even do something is when, like you said, the invigilator excuses you, and then it's even with your colleague, Charlie, number one, even with that, when you are caught, it was a serious crime.
Yeah.
And even those times, we were told that even students themselves were reporting invigilators to external invigilators that they are disturbing them. Sometimes being a teacher doesn't mean you know everything. It might not be your field. The paper you are even invigilating might not be your field, and you end up giving wrong answers. So even those times, students were reporting invigilators to external invigilators. So the discipline was top notch. You go sit down there. If you don't know, you don't know. You know you write and you go your way. But it has become more serious because of technology currently. Now, people even take phones to exams halls, invigilate, they print papers. And I think I will attribute it to where the printing takes place. And so over the years, I've been thinking that instead of printing the papers, let's say a day or two before the exams itself, the papers should be printed close to, maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes to the actual paper, the exams. And the centers should be close to the school. So the exam center, you print them, you distribute them, and that's all. But this time, they print them somewhere, and a whole convoy would have to carry the papers.
It's similar to the ballot kilometers.
You see. So by the time they get to the exam center, we don't know the questions.
What has happened?
You understand? And so over the years, the discipline was top notch. We completed recently, but at time, you wear slippers, you even wear singlets.
I was even going to say that. With even our time, there was corporal punishment. Maybe I'm sounding biased towards corporal punishment, So we were scared of the cane thing. And you cannot even go with your fingernails beyond a certain point. Your hair needs to be trimmed. You have to make sure you are prim and proper. The word prescribed is the word, yes. But now it's almost like maybe because the teachers are no longer allowed to instill
they're kind of reluctant.
Yes, they've all become lax towards everything, and then they just allow. Because I think there was a time we had an issue about a student who was prevented from entering the examination hall because of something. I think, was it the nails or so? And so did not write, and then was it like an argument or so, like trying to get the personnel, in trouble about that. But these are rules and regulations they have to follow. And coming back to the whole punishment thing, or just the fact that teachers were given a certain form of authority as, disciplinary figures, you'd see that at a time you couldn't have gone to say you are reporting this teacher for not letting you, when you could have just gone to clip your nails. But now the students also have some sort of boldness to do that. So imagine that now, where they can even offer these teachers, because some of the times we would hear that somebody will write a letter to the invigilator with a number in there that, give me good marks, and then I'll send you money, I'll call my parents and all of that. Maybe now these students are able to actually have those conversations with their teachers and tell them that, look, my father will pay you, so, come and help me or something. Do you think that's the case? Because we were scared to tell our teachers that.
It can be a part of it, but also, let's also look at the invigilators. So I am thinking that if invigilators are paid well, They wouldn't,
But let's make the distinction between invigilators and then the teachers.
Yes.
Most of the invigilators are external invigilators, but then there are teachers also in the school who are also around, for maybe supplementary duties or also invigilate other classes. So with that, if we box them all in one, maybe the external invigilators, they are doing the right thing.
So I am even, I want to come from a point that if they had been paid well, I know definitely they are going to be paid for their service. Right. If they are being paid well, they wouldn't be looking at those small monies that will be coming.
But there are people that are greedy. Is that
greedy?
So
they want more.
So then the whole issue is also about the fact that parents and schools. Now, let me pick it from the parents' perspective. At that time, I made this point and I was nearly beaten. So there's this kind of pressure that some parents put on their kids that no matter what, you have to pass. You have to get 8 A's, 7 A's. Not thinking about the mental capacity. With every child, you can just look at this child and be like, this child is very brilliant. The IQ is this and all that. And we have average students. So parents put pressure on kids without thinking about all these things. And then if you happen to be a son or daughter of a wealthy man, from a wealthy family, and your parents are we have some families that are academicians, or how do they say it? Academics. And they tend to put pressure on you, and they realize that it is not working. This is the only means. They will now then move to
the academic parents. Oh.
There are some like that, because they will tell you in their family they don't fail, and then you are trying to. You understand? So they have to find ways and means. That is when
I think it's.
I've had friends that they will say, if you fail, you write again. You keep writing on to.
Yes, that's what the academics do. They will make you write.
They make you write it. I had like friends like that.
But this situation
is the ones who have money, who
you understand,
would want to use any means possible to get their children ahead. They do that. But the academics, I remember. So this is a personal experience. I was a day student and I was struggling with the day students thing. So I got a C in one of the the courses. I wrote an update. Because my mother said she would not understand the C. No. So I had to write again, and this is a CEO. So imagine, there was a worse grade also for mathematics because our batch had issues. So they joined the C grade. I think I had 2 C's and then the mathematics. So I had to rewrite 3 courses. Even though I could have gone to some uncle and told, they said no, go
write again.
But that situation is still there. That mentality is there, and they are pushing kids to do that. And once they are not able to do that, that's the other means. And then there's also the fact that schools and stakeholders, teachers, school owners, and what have you are interested, because once they get, best grades, good grades, that is where the enrollment increases. And so if this year your school, was able to pass, that is where more parents would want to bring their and that would go a long way to, benefit the schools.
But
so
that doesn't
it's a chain
work
reaction and all of that.
That doesn't work for SHS students.
We have private schools. You see, the issue is that, we have private senior high schools and we have government ones. And then the issue is that most of the time you don't even hear the private schools. Like, you don't hear the exams malpractice and all of that, because one will say that some of them, not all of them, they understand the game and they're able to play it very well. Yes.
What are you implying, sir?
Okay, I think at this point, this conversation might lead us into trouble. But, putting a pin in that, we'll come back to that maybe later. There are 2 issues that are, quite similar. It's all about exploitation. So, police have arrested 3 people over child sexual exploitation case that is linked to an Australian probe. And then also, police have also arrested an East Legon businessman over his alleged sexual assault case. So let's take a look at both videos and then come back to discuss.
The Ghana Police Service, working in close collaboration with the Australian Federal Police and Interpol, has arrested 3 Ghanaians for the taking, production, publication, and processing of indecent images, photographs, and videos of children, contrary to Section 62(1)(a), B, C, and D of the Cybersecurity Act 2020 at 1038. In January 2026, Interpol Accra received an intelligence report from Interpol Canberra in Australia and the Crimes Against Children Unit of the Interpol General Secretariat regarding a case of child sexual exploitation. The intelligence was shared by the Australian Federal Police and the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation Victim Identification Team. According to the intelligence report, an Australian offender who was arrested in 2025 and is currently standing trial in Australia received child sexual exploitation material from facilitators based in Ghana. Records further show that the offender transferred funds to the facilitators in Ghana in exchange for child sexual exploitation material involving victims also located in Ghana. The Australian authorities therefore requested the Ghana Police Service to conduct investigations aimed at rescuing the victims and arresting the suspects. Further investigations conducted by a team comprising officers from Interpol Accra and the Child Digital Forensics and Cybercrime Units under the supervision of the Director General of the CID led to the arrest of 2 suspects and the rescue of 2 victims aged between 7 and 13 years in the Ashanti region. Subsequently, 1 additional suspect was arrested and 2 more victims aged 6 and 7 years were rescued in the Bolo region. All 3 suspects are currently in police custody, assisting in investigations, while the victims are in the care of the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Units in their respective regions. Abuse Relief Corps, an NGO in Ghana, is assisting DOPSO in providing care and support for the victims. The Ghana Police Service wishes to remind the general public that child sexual abuse is a criminal offense punishable by a fine of not more than 5,000 penalty units or a term of imprisonment of not more than 10 years or both. The Cybercrime Unit of the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters has arrested Joshua Kojo Anani Boate, age 36, an entrepreneur and resident of East Legon, Accra, in connection with a case involving the non-consensual sharing of intimate images. The arrest was made on 6 May 2026, following a joint intelligence-led operation by the Cybercrime Unit and the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI. Investigations reveal that the suspect operated the Telegram platform known as VIP Sleep Fetish 2025, where he drugged unsuspecting female victims using alprazolam, a sedative commonly known as Xanax, sexually abused them, recorded the acts, and shared the videos and images on that platform. The suspect is alleged to have frequented nightclubs in 2025, where he seduced, sedated, and sexually assaulted female victims before recording and disseminating their intimate images without their consent. A search conducted at the time of arrest led to the retrieval of the following exhibits: 2 iPhones, specifically an iPhone 17 and an iPhone 13 Pro Max, 1 feature phone, 1 memory card, 1 Seagate external hard drive, 1 MacBook laptop, 1 iSafe device, and empty sachets of alprazolam and midazolam pills. The retrieved electronic devices have been retained for digital forensic examination, while the empty drug sachets are being prepared for submission to the Food and Drugs Authority for verification and classification. The suspect has since been put before the court, and investigations remain ongoing. The Ghana Police Service reiterates its firm commitment to combating online sexual exploitation and abuse in all its forms, and urges the public to report suspected cases of exploitation or abuse.
So those were statements from the Ghana Police Service about the exploitation of the young ladies and also the children. And these issues, I don't know, they tug at me so much, because what would cause you to want to take explicit pictures of a child and send to someone in Australia for money? Because even if, yes, you are poor, you need to survive. Look at the just recent Mother's Day, celebrations, considering the fact that one of the suspects, in that case, is the mother of the kids. And considering the fact that we talk about our mothers and how they love us and protect us and all of that, and then you hear a mother is, complicit in such an activity.
It's heartbreaking.
It's sad,
it's
very sad.
Terrible.
It's obvious that Ghana is facing a lot of challenges at the same time, from xenophobic attack to recently there was even a trafficking at Cote d'Ivoire where a lot of Ghanaians were caught, and now this even recently the Ghana police also released a point where some mother has gone to pay money for a child at Trust Hospital here in Osu. So I think we have to, say thank you to the Ghana Police Service because I feel like they're doing an amazing job.
But there's still a lot of room for improvements because all these bodies, DOVSU, I think Ministry of Gender and Children's Social Protection and all of that, social welfare, all of these bodies need to be strengthened because it is not going to be easy to catch people doing this because in this situation, it's a mother and her son, and then, that's basically maybe the older brother of these little kids. And for whatever reason, they've been convinced to share such explicit pictures of these children. Imagine the kind of harm it's going to cause them. And the person who they are sharing these pictures with is sending you money. Now, what if they start demanding certain activities, like do this to the child and record it and send to me? Then you will start sexually abusing the child for money. To what end? And this is family, so how would they even be caught?
You might be surprised at what people are doing behind closed doors.
That's what I'm saying, that these bodies need to be strengthened so that we can have, some, even with the West, when you adopt kids, every now and then a social worker comes in to, do some checks. So maybe if these bodies here too are strengthened enough that they can come and run certain assessments, whether it's your biological child or not, just to safeguard these things. On Tuesday, you were talking about the extended family setting and how it used to be back in the day. And look at something like this. And this is even, let's say, nuclear. So imagine with people living with their extended families and whatever.
I mean, they were even happening then, but not for money. But this one is like trade.
This is for, and it's an international thing. So they know that they can make a lot of money. And there are so many sick perverts out there who want to patronize child pornography for all kinds of amounts of money.
So it's sad, but I would like to start by commending the CID, the Interpol, and the other, stakeholders. And I would want to believe that this should be the beginning of a sustained crackdown on, issues like this, like you both rightly stated. It's very sad, and linking it to even family is the most worrying aspect of it. Places that one thinks that he or she is secured, family, your immediate relatives, a mother and an elder son, because of what? Just for money. And then I also like the fact that the CID board reiterated that this is against the law, and definitely the law will actually work. But for me, it is not surprising because this isn't the first time. It has been happening. And that's why I stated that I want to believe that this is going to be the beginning of a sustained crackdown because a whole lot of people are going through a lot. And so when I say that it is not news, it has been happening, I mean that when you take a look at data from DOVSU and other, and so in 2019, Ghana police recorded 1,285 cases of child sexual abuse and 376 rape cases. Now, in 2022, over 13,000 images and videos of child sexual abuse were reportedly accessed or uploaded from Ghana. And so that's why I say we just have to, congratulate the CID and then the Interpol. This international collaboration should be a sustained one so that we'll be able to, bring these perpetrators to book because it has been happening. If not for this, investigation, it is something that is going on. But currently, people have access to these smartphones, and they are doing a whole lot with these smartphones, both online and offline. And it will be very hard. And so in terms of cybersecurity and all that, I think there should be more education. The people should be educated on how some of these things work, even these smartphones. Most of the times when you need something...
Our kids are not safe anymore. I was thinking of using drugs, a drug that is supposed to,
the
for
drug
surgery.
One is for a different case. This one is just taking pictures of the child. But even coming to that issue, the 36-year-old East Legon businessman who has been apprehended, he was basically, arrested for the fact that he allegedly drugs young girls and then, basically rapes them because they are unconscious, takes videos, and has a Telegram page named VIP Sleep Fetish 2025, where there are subscribers to such. So he uploads these things for people who also enjoy that to get access to this. Now, the only reason that this information has come out or he's been arrested is that some of the victims were reportedly foreign nationals, and when they visited Ghana for the 30 December 2025, yes, that's last year, and when they discovered that their photos were circulating on social media, they made formal complaints to the authorities in their country, and that's how come we are apprehending him. Now, it begs the question that basically this Telegram page was named something 2025. So let's take it that this thing, he started it in 2025. If it was not for these foreign nationals who were victims, how long would this have gone on?
That's forever.
Because our laws, we are here talking, we spoke about enforcement, right? And I think even some months ago, if not weeks, news came about, or it was an international bit though, that there is a page with about 65 million men who are subscribers to that. And what they do there is find ways to rape and harm their wives, mothers, and sisters. I don't know if you heard of that. And coming to our, jurisdiction here, that this man, a socialite, he goes for all these parties. He's actually quite popular in, the social spaces, and this is what he's perpetrating. To what end? Some people are saying, but he has money, access to girls, but it goes beyond that.
So even with that, if you have money and you have access to girls, why do you then drag them? That is cowardness. It's not, first of all, it's something that we should condemn. And like I stated, we should actually congratulate the CID boss, and they're actually working. But it goes a long way. It means that some innocent lady sitting somewhere does not even know that this is what has happened to her.
Yeah. She trusted you, went with you to have a good time, and now she's naked, unconscious, and on social media.
It means that a whole lot has been happening. Now we talk about women's safety and nightlife. A lot of people go through a whole lot. And so during weekends, they want to go and have fun and all that. And after the fun, when people take in those things, a whole lot happens. But after the fun, and something like this happens, it begs the question of those who actually own these places.
Yes.
What kind of safety, what kind of rules? It's a whole lot. This is a whole system, something, because we've heard of some places here in Accra that they say a whole lot of things are happening. Who is responsible for regulating these things? The things they do there, are those things legal? It's like, a whole lot should be taken into consideration. And like you rightly said, this person in question is someone people are actually looking up to.
Yeah.
And you see, initially we were talking about Flourish, and I was citing some examples and all that. And you see people, with a whole lot of flashy things, and they tell you this is what they do. And I'm not sure that he's just doing this for fun. There's some form of money, like exchange of something.
And the thing is that sharing even nudes,
predatory behavior.
You get it. Sharing even nudes is against the law. It's a criminal act. Let alone sharing it for money. That's another thing we should look at.
I think concluding on this issue, we are hoping that the arrests are not limited to just the man who was perpetrating, but the subscribers to the page who were also patronizing such. They are also, complicit in this, so they should also be arrested. This will serve as a deterrence to anybody who likes to, indulge in these things and have access to such images and videos of young and unsuspecting, victims. And All too soon, our time is up. Up next is the lifestyle segment where we're going to be learning about Down syndrome. Thank you so much for joining me here. Please, let's stay tuned for the lifestyle segment as we learn everything we need to know about Down syndrome.
Hello and welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. My name is Annabelle Beverly Jabia and it's time for Lifestyle on the show. Well, today we are having an important conversation about Down syndrome, a condition that affects thousands of families around the world, including here in Ghana. Now, beyond the medical explanations, this is also a conversation about inclusion, dignity, education, support systems, and the need to break long-standing misconceptions and stigma. Joining us to help us better understand Down syndrome is Dr. Terestella Te Kwabla, and she is the chairperson for Community Practice Pharmacists Association. Yeah, welcome to the studio, ma'am.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Yeah, those of you who didn't watch us last week, she was here with us last week. It's good to have you. I hope your weekend went well.
I can't complain.
Yeah. So let's get right into the conversation. So for people that may not have even heard about this particular disease and what it is, what should we understand about Down syndrome?
Okay. So before we even begin, we should understand that when we talk about Down syndrome, it is not a curse, it is not a disease, but it is called a genetic condition, whereby there is an extra copy of something we called chromosome 21.
Okay.
So if we can see the picture so that we have an idea of what I'm talking about.
Okay. That's good. Right. So before they have a display, let's get into it. So you are saying it's not considered as a curse?
It's not a curse,
right. Okay.
Or witchcraft or punishment. Maybe people believing that the mom or dad has done something, so that's the punishment that they are receiving. No. It's purely genetic. It's a genetic condition.
Right. So what are some of the causes of Down syndrome? What could cause it or what could lead to it?
Down syndrome, because we are saying, or it is known to be a genetic disorder, every human being, we have something we call chromosome, and this makes up our DNA. Okay, so for the chromosomes, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes for everyone. But for the disorder, that is the Down syndrome, the chromosome 21, there's an additional chromosome added to it. So instead of having 23 pairs, so the 23 pairs meaning instead of having 46 chromosomes, now you have 47. You get it?
Right.
So the extra one being added, especially on chromosome 21, that is what causes or what that brings about the Down syndrome.
Right.
So it is purely genetic.
Right.
Purely
But
genetic.
are there like different levels of when it comes to Down syndrome? Are there different levels?
We have different types.
Okay.
But what I want us to understand here today is that no matter or regardless the type, it is genetic. It is purely genetic.
Right. Right. Is it also preventable? Is it preventable?
It's not. It's not even curable. Yes, just that it comes with some defects. Some people get this congenital heart defects. It comes with some infections. It comes with some people get kidney disorders, GIT disorders, and all that. But all these defects can be treated depending on the type. If it's the congenital, as I said, if it's very serious and requires surgery, the treatment for that will be surgery.
Right.
Okay. And if it's thyroid, we have medications for that. If it is an infection, we have medications for that. So with that defect aspect, there is medications for that.
Yeah. So now, before the surgery, at what stage does it get like detected for the surgery?
Okay. So for someone to be detected, it normally happens right during pregnancy. So when the mom is pregnant, they will tell you to do several tests. First trimester has its own test. Second trimester has its own test too. So once we do all these varieties of tests, we'll be able to depict or tell whether there is this extra copied chromosome that I'm talking about.
So it can be diagnosed before birth, if I got it correct. Okay. But are there physical signs people commonly like associate with?
Yeah.
If you can also walk us through that.
When you see them, normally you would get to know that this person has Down syndrome by their facial look. Some of them, they have this flattened face.
Okay.
Their mouth is very small, but their tongue is out, protruding a bit big. Because of that, it affects their speech.
Okay.
They also have small ears. Their head shape is kind of small. When you look at the other features like their hands, you can see some. It's kind of like this. There's some space in between some of the fingers, and a whole lot. You would see so many things that will tell you that this is a sign of someone who has Down syndrome.
Yeah, I think they are displaying them.
Good. So this is an example. This is how you see how their face is.
Right.
Okay, so please let's go to the next picture. That's how they generally look. So this is the signs that I was talking about.
Right.
So you see that they have this flat appearing face with a small head, and their mouth is very small, which causes their tongue to stick out.
Right.
And is sometimes, in fact, mostly large.
Right.
Because of that, it affects their speech. So you realize that they have treatments for this. Also, we have the speech therapy.
Yeah. So I've actually seen some of them, and they're not able to close their mouth.
Exactly.
But what causes?
Because they have a small mouth and their tongue is big. And
Okay.
So it's like their tongue cannot fit inside the mouth, so it's being protruded out. So these are some of the signs that is normally associated with Down syndrome.
Right. So can children with Down syndrome attend school and live their life independently?
Yeah. They are like really normal. In fact, it is just because of the genetic disorder. Aside that, they are fine. They can go to school. When you even research, you realize that most of them are very talented.
Yeah, they're very creative.
Very creative when it comes to arts, when it comes to even modeling, singing, rapping, all these things. They are very good at it.
Right.
It depends on how their parents nurture and embrace them. And also depend on the society that they find themselves. Because if you are in a society that would embrace you, you are confident to go out. But whereby you are in a culture or a society whereby they look down on you, they think you are a curse, you are a burden.
Yeah.
The mom will not even let the child go out for the child to be disgraced. So because of that, all these talents are kept inwardly. They are not able to express themselves. You are not able to see the real talents that this wonderful child came with.
Right.
That is very disheartening.
What are with children like that or with people like that? What are some of the supports that we as a community can help them thrive in whatever they're doing?
The first thing is, as we are doing advocacy, because most people don't know about this, that they think it's a curse. So when we keep educating them, the general public, to know that one, this is not a curse or a punishment or out of witchcraft or whatever it is, they begin to know that, this is something that we can appreciate.
Right.
So when society has this mindset, it also helps. And the parents too, when you are able, you accept the fact that this is what I'm given, this is what I have. I have to cherish my child no matter what, regardless. And we have this free adage that goes like, Obana be in Shiramao. Mostly these children, when they are guided well, they become a blessing to the parents.
Wow.
Because people see them when they are able to even come out to say how their children are, they are able to develop their talents and all that.
Right.
At the end of the day, they even become blessings not only to their family, but to the society that they are in.
And when you see them, they are always happy, they're always bubbly, they're always all over the place.
Exactly.
They're very nice to be with.
Exactly.
Wow. I'm yet to see one that is always sad.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm yet to see one. Always sad. Yeah. Right.
It also depends on as I said, the environment you find yourself.
Right.
I personally am a Sunday school teacher, and I have I call them special. I have a special child. And the way I relate to this child, my Sunday school children, I've made them know that this person is special. This person, you don't have to laugh or make mockery of this kind of person. So when we are doing recitals on stage, when you are doing, what's it called? Play and all that, this child is active and part. You get it? So it makes the child so happy and
they
all that.
They always want to be part of something. Yeah.
So you see, they are wonderful.
Very, very.
When we are able to include them in things, you see the extra wonderful or uniqueness that they carry.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what are some of the misconceptions society has about some of their capabilities? You know, because sometimes you see them, like I said, you see them all over the place.
Exactly.
So what are some of the misconceptions you think people have about some of their abilities?
One.
Maybe ability to maybe write, some of the creatives. Most of them are creatives because per my research, is it like a classroom teaching where you have a blackboard teaching them in school? They're not able to pick, but when they see you do something, that they're able to, you know, do it better. Right.
So for the misconception, as you all know, people think because of their situation or condition they find themselves in, they can't do anything. So they don't even allow them to bring out the talent in them. But it isn't true. When you give them the opportunity, it helps. And mostly because some people think that their disease, their condition is... Do you know that some people actually think it's contagious? So they don't want them to even mingle or be around people with that conception. So because of that, it makes helping these children become difficult. Okay?
Yeah. So I think the machine is working now, and we can have some of them displayed fully so that Dr. Therese Stella can help us understand better and explain whilst we move on. So let's have it while she explains that.
Okay. So we've already spoken about these other... So this is the main thing. So when you talk about the normal chromosome, it's paired. So it's like this. But what makes it Down syndrome is the additional copied chromosome, the pink one. So the pink one making a 3, trisomy. This pink one is what causes the Down syndrome.
How does it happen?
It happens naturally.
God is wonderful.
You know, we have in our system the way our body is being made and the way the DNA is. I don't want to go into details like being scientific, so I'll try and break. Okay. So looking at this diagram, you realize that the first one is double. It's paired, right? The second is paired. The third is paired, like that. But once it gets to the 21st chromosome, the 21, you see that it's 3 instead of it being 1. So when there is this extra copy, that is what causes the Down syndrome. And this one is natural. It's not as if the person ate something or the person did something or the person belongs to a certain tribe or it just comes naturally. It just comes naturally. Yeah. And it's can we go to the next where it has been scientifically?
Please let's move to the next.
Yeah. Age factor also counts.
Okay.
Whereby I don't know if we can go to the next.
I think it's not moving, so you can help us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So below 35 years, it's 1 in 4,000.
When you are below
35 years.
Yes,
the chances.
Okay.
And if I say the chances, I'm not targeting or saying maybe this ethnicity of this group of people. It happens to anyone at all. Anyone
Specifically
at all.
the women.
The women, exactly. So when you talk below 35 years, the chances is 1 in 4,000. And from 35, 1 in 400. Then if you are 40 years, 1 in 100. Then 45 years, you get 1 in 35. Meaning, the older your age, the older the matured the eggs, the probability of or the chances of a mother having this child or having the Down syndrome
is high.
Yes, it's very high.
So you are advising us to give birth at a very early age, if I get you correct.
Yeah. The normal thing, I wouldn't say normal because everyone has its own, we have our own plans and all that. But according to science, according to research, this is what has been shown, that individuals at this category of ages are prone to having children with Down syndrome and all that. Yeah. And naturally too, as we are getting older, the eggs are also getting older and certain conditions also set in. Get it? And these are some of the conditions that the person can get.
So apart from Down syndrome, are there any other conditions related to women, the fertility? And
the fertility rate, that the higher you go, it is believed that the chances of being pregnant too comes down.
Okay.
You get it? So it's always advised that once you are young and that's peak and you are ready, the word is ready. Why not? Yeah.
Now, coming to the eggs, recently I came across a social media post where people say they freeze their eggs until they are ready. To give birth. Is that advisable? And what health implications are they exposing themselves to?
Okay, freezing their eggs is due to so many conditions. One, maybe they were told that they are going to have a surgery.
Okay.
And because of this surgery, we have to remove your womb. Because of that, the only chances or the advice the medical experts will give you is that you should freeze your eggs.
Okay, there are times where it could be from a medical point that you should freeze. Okay.
Oh yes, because of all these conditions. So we have various reasons why people do that.
Okay.
People do that because one, they want to, because of a medical condition.
Right.
Two, people also can do that because as you are getting older, the egg count too decreases. You get it? So whilst you are young and the eggs are in multiple folds, you don't want to lose out on that and all that. So many reasons why people opt for that.
Now let's come to family and support. What emotional impact does diagnosis for people with Down syndrome affect, or how does it affect the supporter or the parents or even family as a whole?
This thing, once the person gets to know, you get this, they become mentally worried. That one, is this a burden? What is society going to say? And it's also because the society don't know so many things in relation to this Down syndrome. As I said, they think it's a curse and witchcraft and all that. But once we get to know that this is a genetic disorder and we are able to help the parents, we even around the society are able to help the parents in what sense? Let's say you see the child and the mom, you don't give them this eyes and you don't, your actions alone will let the mom know that I'm not wanted or I'm not needed in this environment. So the way we portray ourselves, our concern also helps or make the mom. Once you enter an environment with your child and you see the looks, oh, hi, hey, how's your baby? And all that, you become satisfied. You get to know that, oh, these people are not tagging me with any misconception. Okay, so all these things, once the society, we are being helpful in the house too. The mom too has already accepted her faith, and the family has already accepted their faith. So for them, they are just working and seeing ways of helping the child to bring out the talent and all. But it can't be confounded to the four walls of the house.
Right.
Mom and dad are helping, sisters and brothers are helping. But what if the child steps out? What is society saying? So you see, we are all involved in helping to accept that this isn't a curse, this isn't a disease,
because
but it's just a genetic disorder.
You see some in the community, people talk a lot.
A lot.
They say, oh, we've seen this family for a very long time. We haven't had any issues of that sort. So where did you bring
Exactly.
Where are you coming from and all of that? It becomes worrying because we are all human beings, and I would just feel for families like that. Yeah. But what advice would you give to a family or a parent or a mother who has just been, diagnosed of this Down syndrome?
Children are blessings. Children are miracles. The way you nurture and the way you embrace the child will determine how far the child would go. So you accepting that this is what God gave me, this is what I have, and you being able to nurture and give all the love and support needed, the child will grow far. As I said initially, someone would even say that, or people, this same society will say that, obey the insurer abroad. This child has been a blessing to you just because of the way you stood firm and supported the child regardless.
So how early is intervention and therapy? But before we answer that, I think some of the videos are in, if we can have them being displayed, so Dr. Terestella can speak to that as well.
Okay, so as I was explaining, so below 35 years, the chances is 1 in 4,000. 35 years is 1 in 400. 40 years is 1 in, you understand?
Right.
Then it goes like that. So this is just an example, or this is just telling us that the younger you are, the chances or the probability of getting it is on the low.
Okay.
But the older you become, the chances of you getting it is high. Exactly. Just look at the 45 years. 1 in 35 gets it. 1 in 35. So that is about that.
Right.
We can go to the next slide.
Okay.
So this lady has Down syndrome.
It doesn't look like.
It doesn't.
It doesn't look like at all.
Because she got all the support
she needed.
Exactly. And she's a model, actually.
She looks like
she got all the support she needed. And now she's living her life. She's living the best out of the situation. You get it? And the next one, she's also a model. You get it? Outside, overseas, they see this and they believe it is not a curse.
Right.
So they involve them. They are inclusive in everything they do. So that is the big difference.
Right.
The next one is this boy who is the next picture. The guy. Yes.
Okay.
He is a rapper and artist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you can just imagine they have so many goodness in them, so many talents that if nurtured well, you can really see what they bring on board.
Interesting. So when you were watching the video of the model, you made mention that they get the support, they get the love to help them to be able to even fit in society. Exactly. Because when they are young, but when they grow, they get to see some of the stigma around it, and they tend to feel bad. Now, what support do you think we are lacking as Africans? Let me just bring it down to Ghana. What do you think we are lacking to give this kind of people the support that they need?
The advocacy. Like the advocacy. The advocacy isn't there. So those who know that this is a genetic disorder, they know. But you ask yourself, what is the percentage of people who know that? And it is very low. It is very low. So even in as much as they know that this is genetic, that is low, what about the rest that don't know? Because just because they see it to be witchcraft, punishments, curse. Some people even see it to be contagious. So they don't want to even mingle with children or people like that. And because of this societal accusation or assumption, the parents too don't want to bring these children out because they don't want to see their children being hurt by certain comments or certain actions that people will do.
Right. So I wanted to ask one question: that how expensive is their therapy?
Okay.
Or how expensive is it?
For their therapy, it mainly depends on the progress of the child. I see we have different individuals and how they adapt or how they catch up things easily. So for them and for the treatments, if you realize that the child's speech isn't really clear and needs help, that is when you need a speech therapist to guide the child and to coach the child on how to talk, how to open the mouth, how to pronounce certain words for it to be clear and all that. And you see, in all these therapy sessions, it involves money, right? The faster the child is able to understand and adapt to what is being taught, the cost will also come down. But when the child isn't able to adapt or learn that fast, that means the therapy sessions has to be consistent. So that is when it will become expensive. And for the other defect that I talked about, like if there is a heart defect and it is very serious or severe, they need an intervention. That is the surgery. Okay, some of them it is mild and with time it comes to normal or it's corrected. For that one, the cost involved won't be that much. And they are prone to infections. So knowing that the mom always or the guardian always have to protect the child so that the child won't be really exposed to so much infections. See, the more you are being protective, the lesser the chances of you going to hospitals up and down and all that. So everything is in the ball of how the child is going to be secured and protected.
Right now, what policies or interventions would you say would make the biggest difference for people with Down syndrome?
Advocacy.
Advocacy again.
If we are really high on advocacy, and if I'm talking about advocacy, like all around, everywhere in Ghana, we are talking about it. They would get to know that, this is actually not a case. And it will really help. You see that people will start bringing their children, like they will get that confidence and they will bring out the best in these wonderful individuals.
Right. Madam Terestella, thank you so much for being on the show. But I would like to hear from you your final words. What would you want people to know from this very important conversation this morning?
What I would like all our viewers and listeners to know is that, one, Down syndrome is not a curse. It's not as a result of witchcraft or punishment. It is purely genetic disorder. It is also not contagious. Parents and guidance with wonderful children like these should embrace their child, regardless of societal shame, whatever they are saying. They should guide and nurture their child because these particular children will become blessing to the society that is mocking them and all that. And at the end of the day, everyone will be happy. Parents will be happy. Then the child, him or herself, would also be happy.
Right. Thank you very much. We've been talking to Dr. Terestella Tay Kwabla, if I get the name correct, and she is the chairperson for community. Let me mention the one.
Practice Pharmacist Association.
Yeah, we heard from her, and it's good that we have this very important conversation because creating awareness, help us, sort of have some empathy. And, empathy also creates the inclusion for these people. When every person, regardless of their ability, deserves dignity and opportunity and love as well. So this has been the lifestyle segment. Let's have some amazing celebrants whilst we celebrate them today.
I heard today was your birthday.
And so, happy birthday, champion Benito. Big love from everyone at Clock TV here. We are wishing you endless wins, good energy, and a good day packed with laughter, vibes, and unforgettable moments. Keep shining, champion. Happy birthday to you, Benito, from Clock TV. And this is from the house, Clock TV. Two amazing personalities are celebrating their birthday. We have one, a sport journalist, and then we have Peter, who is with us on the morning show here. Happy birthday, Peter Kojo Insia. Today we celebrate not just an amazing personality, but an amazing person and a presenter. Everyone at Clock TV is wishing you more success, bigger wins, and endless happiness. Keep brightening the energy and good vibes always. Keep bringing all the energy and good vibes always. Happy birthday going out to you, Peter. And this is how we wrap up. But then before we go, Dr. Teresila wants to wish someone congratulations. So let's hear from her before we go.
So all pharmacists in Ghana, we are so happy. Not only because we are celebrating our 90th anniversary, but because we have our honorable Farm Prof. Christian Ejari, who has been appointed as the Vice Chancellor of KNUST. And from PSGH, from all the pharmacists in Ghana, we say congratulations. We are proud of you. And this is a legacy that we really respect. Thank you so much. And we wish you all the best. Thank you.
And this has been the lifestyle segment on the Koko Digest Morning Show. My name once again is Annabelle Beverly Ejabia. Thanks for staying with us. Next is the sports segment with the landlord himself, the landlord of Football Association in Ghana here. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you stay tuned.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Sports Update on the finest morning show, the Koko Digest in Ghana. My name is Opoku Isaac. You can call me landlord, the only landlord in Ghana football. Thank God it's super fantastic Thursday morning. I'm not here alone. I'm here with my main man, James Bernard III, a.k.a. Man Marcelo, a.k.a. the headmaster. Today we have a lot for you, and there's good news for Ghana football, and there's good news for the whole nation too, and there's good news for Clock TV. So we kickstart with our first story. The Honorable Sports Minister for Sports and Recreation, Honorable Eddie Kofi Adams, says that there's good news for Ghana for those who are not traveling to Canada, USA, and Mexico for the FIFA World Cup happening live at these three nations. There's good news. The good news is that the minister has been able, with his team, has been able to get a TV right for Ghanaians to watch the matches live. So it's not going to be aired only on DSTV. The news is that the matches will be aired on one of our precious TV stations. People are asking, is it Clock TV? Is this and that? So we are yet to see what is going to happen in the weeks to come. So the Honorable Sports Minister went to one of our sister stations and had an interview with them, and he broke the news to them about this good news. James, good morning. How are you doing?
Up and grateful.
Fantastic. You are looking nice and sharp this
morning.
Thank
you.
So there's good news for Ghanaians that those who are not traveling to Canada, USA, and Mexico. Honorable Sports Minister Eddie Kofi Adams has said that a Ghanaian TV station will be telecasting Ghana's matches live during the World Cup. How do you see the story?
It's a good news. I remember the African Cup of Nations. We did not get the right to watch, so many of us went to watch DSTV and stuff. But this World Cup, we need to bring the World Cup closer to the people here in Ghana. So it's a good news for us. Not everybody can afford DSTV and all those things. So bringing it closer to the people, I think it's a good news. And it will even bring more attraction and more support. We will get a feel of how it is going out there, and will support our country and the World Cup as a whole with full vim and vigor. So I think it's a good news for us.
It's a good news. All right, so this is coming from James Bernard. It's a good news for Ghanaians that a Ghana TV station will be telecasting Ghana live matches at the FIFA World Cup live by Canada, USA, and Mexico. Is it going to be Clock TV? Is it going to be your favorite station? So let's hope and see. So let's listen to the voice, or let's watch the video that the Honorable Sports Minister Eddie Kofi Adams had a conversation with our sister station.
We on the side of government are also preparing very well to make sure that we meet their financial needs, and we also are preparing to make sure we bring the Mondial to the doorsteps of fellow Ghanaians, and that Ghanaians will not be dried, will not be denied the opportunity of watching, that many platforms will be available to show the World Cup live. It's not just going to be one platform, but many platforms free to air, and which we have paid for. So we've gotten that right. Again, we will create some fan zones where people may also have the stadium feel, those who want to go, and people who are sponsoring us will also get the opportunity to exhibit their products in all those areas. So we are doing everything possible to make sure that all Ghanaians and the players and everybody enjoy a bit of the World Cup. We on the side of government are also preparing very well to make sure that we meet their financial needs, and we also are preparing to make sure we bring the Mondial to the doorsteps of fellow Ghanaians, and that Ghanaians will not be dried, will not be denied the opportunity of watching, that many platforms will be available to show the World Cup live. It's not just going to be one platform, but many platforms free to air, and which we have.
All right, so this is for Honorable Sports Minister, Sports and Recreation, Eddie Kofi Adams, saying that there's good news for us. They are bringing the Mundial to Ghana. So, James, final words on that. This Mundial that we are bringing it to Ghana.
As I said, I mean, it's a good news for us when you are sitting in the comfort of your home and with some small ice cubes and some drinks, and you are enjoying the Mundial. It brings you another different feeling altogether. So I think it's a good news for us. And the most important thing is the fact that it is not just one television station, but couple of TV stations who have, and I think Clock TV, I'm sure will be part of those stations. So it's a good one.
All right, so this is coming from James. There's good news for Clock TV, as I always say, is please make sure you don't give your money to any agents to go and chop your money free. If you have some money, save it. If you want to get married, to use your money to go and get married, so that you don't go and give it to any agents to chop your money. Clock TV will be showing to you live the blaster matches, their training ground, from the airports to their training ground, where they are, everything that they are doing in Canada, USA, Mexico, it will be live on Clock TV. We're going straight to our second story. National Sports Authority react to claim of footage of food shortage of at African Athletics Championship. So there's an African Championship going on at the Legon Sports Complex at around Shiashi there, and there is an African athletics that have been coming up over there. Then there's a news circulating around that there's a shortage of food over there, but the National Sports Authority has come to disclaim that there's nothing that is going on. So this, I read the story. The Deputy General of National Sports Authority, Madam Veronica Komi, has reacted to some concern about the organization of the ongoing African Senior Athletics Championship in Accra. Okay, so for instance, a South African athlete, Smith, had complained about the treatment of athletes and alleged restriction of food supply at their hostel accommodation, responding to the claim on food restriction. So this is coming from Madam Veronica Komi, a deputy director for National Sports Authority. James, yesterday we were there. Yeah. We were there. Later we came to the Accra Sports Stadium to watch the DBB and Tamale City. What is your concern about this story that is circulating?
I think it's bad for us, poor organization, and we've used this same stadium for the 2023 All African Games, and there was few complaints about journalists not getting internet to, send the news out there, and food and all those. And I think All African Games, me, myself, and other journalists, including you, were all complaining about how we were spending $50 million on food for everybody. But at least there was more food for everybody to enjoy, including some of we journalists. We ate some. And we needed just around 40 million Ghana cedis, which is not even up to $4 million for just these senior athletics. And till now, there is no money for that. So I think it's very bad. It doesn't send good signal out there for us here in Ghana. It is sending very, very bad signal out there for us. And it is bad. We need to do better. We've organized All African Games in a nice way. And if you go to the Legon Sports Stadium, for instance, the media said that the space for the media, the journalists and the media team, and where the supporters needs to be, is just like, you will not see any difference. The only difference that you see is maybe the journalists sit, you have some tables there that they can put their laptops and other stuff on. So I think it's a bad one. We still have some few weeks to go or few days to go in the tournament. We should rectify those things and let's enjoy, because there is no even timer. So after the athlete finish running, he or she doesn't even know the time she or she made. So it's very bad. We need to rectify all these things, and because it's sending bad names out there for us.
All right, it's very bad that it's coming from Jess. So let's go and watch a video of Madam Veronica Komi, a Deputy National Sports Authority, said something about this story.
I have been a journalist for years, traveled the world, and I understand that it is not acceptable. You need a very quiet environment for you to be able to operate. So we've heard you, even before you said it, we knew that we needed to do better. So my apologies that there was a lot of noise and it's distracted the way you had to work. We've put measures in place to make sure that it doesn't repeat itself. So kindly accept my apology to the media. Secondly, you spoke about the athletes speaking about rationing of food. Personally, I was taken a little aback, I think, for us as organizers, but we do know that there will be complaints and everything. What we have done is to step up to see how we can change some of that narrative, because I go to the dome myself. We are always there. There is a lot of food, so we don't know where that came from. So it is something that I want to give you the assurance that we are working on. In terms of the equipment that did not work yesterday, there was a lot of power trips. I don't know if you saw it. The power kept fluctuating. We had a generator set available to correct that, but a lot of technical difficulties ensured that once we fixed it, it went back to the same. What we have done today is to isolate a lot of the power so that the equipment will have their own power, so we don't have a repeat of what happened yesterday. So that is the update.
All right, so that is from Madam Veronica Komi, a Deputy National Sports Authority. She was apologizing to the media, and some of the things that has been said online is not true. So thank you, Madam Veronica Komi. James, quick one.
Of course, she can't tell us it's not true because we are there. We are there, and our colleague journalists from other countries are struggling because we, for instance, maybe we have access to our own internet on our phones and stuff, so we can equally do. But they are coming from outside the country, and they need Wi-Fi, they need internet to work. Of course, they need food as well. The athletes, everybody who is there. That was what I said earlier on, that all African games, there was more food for everybody to enjoy. And you see, these athletes need sound mind to perform and perform well for their various countries. So you can't come here and tell us that what we are bringing out there is wrong. It's because, of course, we also go to different countries, and when they are treating us this way, we wouldn't be happy. So I think they should rectify it and let them do the important thing, the most important thing. Let them bring it out. Let's solve this issue so that we can have a good game and everybody will go back to his or her country.
That is coming from James. Let's solve the good issue so that we can all go back to our country and have a good name for ourselves as a nation, Ghana. We go straight to our last story. Yesterday at the nation's Wembley Accra Sports Stadium, a Division 1 match playoff final. One of the finals. I always tell you, say media, if I go and watch football and it's a very interesting final there, I'll come and sit here and talk about it. Yesterday, DBBB FC versus Tamale City at the nation's Wembley. At the end of the 90 minutes, DBB 3, Tamale City 1. They did a comeback, and Kojo Entry scored a hat-trick for DBB FC. Yesterday, the whole sports crew were there to capture
the BB did. When they considered the first goal in around the 23rd minute there, the coach was very furious. He was very angry because you saw that when the game started, Tamale City were rushing. They wanted to, they squandered all their energy in the first 20 minutes. And of course, they got their goal. But after the goal, they were disorganized and the BB came into the game very well. And of course, Entry, you can't talk and you can't, Kojo Entry. He did well. Of course, he has scored 14 goals in 26 games before coming into this game. So he's scoring. He's a goal scorer. And if you look at all the goals that he scored, I mean, it's a trademark of a striker.
The second goal was the finest goal, a back kick goal. I remember this goal very well. The birthday boy scored some last week. Last week when we were playing some friendly matches, the birthday boy himself scores one of the finest.
But then, let me say this: the referees, you can see the first goal was a straight offside.
for
Tamale City. And I think the back heel that you were talking about, it was also an offside. Okay, so they were not even having gadgets to communicate to it, and this is a final. So I think they should have done better with officiating. They did well, of course, they did well, but then they should have done better, because when I posted the first 2 goals, most of the people out there was complaining that they could even see that it was an offside. And if you look at the second goal for the BB United, where the line 2 was standing and where the striker who scored the goal was like 5 meters away from the scene.
Yeah.
So, I mean, our referees, of course, they should try and do better. But all in all, it was a very, very, very good final. Kudos to the BB United. So they've joined the likes of Ashgold and then Port City. I think it's going to be a wonderful one. And of course, once again, Bofo is having a Premier League team once. So all in all, it's good. And we'll wait for next season. Let's see how things goes.
All right, so we wait for next season. Let's see how things go. A big congratulations to DBB FC for joining Ashanti Gold and Port City into the Ghana Premier League 2026 and 2027 season. We go straight to our last story. We go straight to France. A big congratulations to Paris Saint-Germain for lifting the French League. Yesterday, they beat Lens FC 1-0, and they were able to lift the French League. And so they are in the title race against Arsenal on 30th May at the Budapest in Hungary. 30th May at Budapest, Hungary, where they will be competing in the UEFA Champions League final against Arsenal, the Gunners. James, our time is fast spent. I can see that the birthday boy is setting up his things alongside his producers. Congratulations to
we congratulate them. And we know they've been dominating French football for so long. So I was not surprised when. So, I mean, it's good for them if it is even boosting their morale ahead of the Champions League finals against Arsenal in Budapest. So let's see how that one goes as well.
All right, congratulations once again to Paris Saint-Germain for lifting the French League. This will time permit us to end the sports update on the finest morning show in the nation, Koko Digest. But before we go, the birthday boy is here. Happy birthday to Peter, our own Peter. James, what do you have to say to Peter?
I mean, he's a fantastic boy. I mean, and I mean, of course, that's him. You see, as they are even miking him over there, you could see some 3-4 ladies around here.
Yeah.
So
that's my only problem I have with him. Because anytime I come here, it's either Andy will mic me. But there are a lot of ladies here. They don't mic me.
I know what we need.
All right. So a happy birthday to our dear Peter, our very own Peter. God bless you, my boy.
Sikara.
Yes. I always say you are one of the finest. I always see the likes of Bernard in him and those big journalists in Ghana. And my only problem I have with him again is his plug, his suit. Each and every day was a sunny suit.
Okay, we
do a share. So Peter, God bless you. God expand you. By next year, by this time, then we will see the ring on your finger and stuff like that. This is what time permit us to end the sports update on the finest morning show, Koko Digest. My name is Opoku Isaac. You can call me landlord, the only landlord in Ghana football.
Nsia. Now to our story. Ghana's economy recorded strong growth of 7.7% year-on-year in February 2026, according to the latest monthly indicator of economic growth released by the Ghana Statistical Service. The services sector remained the biggest contributor to growth, expanding by 7.4% and accounting for nearly half of overall economic activity, largely driven by the information and communication subsector. There's more to this story.
Also posted strong growth of 9.6%, supported mainly by mining and quarry activities, while agriculture grew by 3.8% due to increased crop and livestock production. The report indicates continued resilience and improving business activity in the economy, although inflation, exchange rate stability, and global economic conditions remain key areas to watch in the coming months.
Away from Ghana's economy, the Bank of Ghana has absorbed 19.06 billion Ghana cedis from the domestic money market through its latest 14-day bill auction held on May 11, 2026. Results from Tender 861 showed the bills were issued at a weighted average discount rate of 10.46%, giving an effective interest rate of 10.50% for the 2-week investment period. Bid rates submitted by investors range from 10.40% to 10.49%. There's more to this story.
The move forms part of the central bank's ongoing efforts to control liquidity in the financial system and maintain stable short-term interest rates. Bank of Ghana bills are commonly used to mop up excess funds in the banking sector to help contain inflationary and foreign exchange pressures. Although inflation has eased and interest rates have declined in recent months, the large size of the auction suggests the central bank remains cautious about liquidity conditions while continuing its focus on price stability.
Now on to our last story. Fuel prices in Ghana are likely to increase from May 16, 2026, despite government efforts to cushion consumers from rising global crude oil prices. According to Dr. Rivers Inopon, petrol prices could increase by about 2.5% to 3% per litre if the policy is extended, pushing prices to around 14 cedis 50 pesos per litre. Diesel prices are also expected to rise by about 1.8%, bringing prices closer to 16 cedis 8 pesos. However, if the policy is not extended beyond its May 16 deadline, petrol prices could climb to about 15 cedis 80 pesos per litre, while diesel may sell at around 18 cedis 5 pesos per litre.
Explained that extending the policy will only reduce the level of increase at the pump rather than prevent it completely. He also noted that the LPG prices will depend largely on the available market stock level. Meanwhile, concern over possible renewed US strike on Iran has pushed crude oil prices higher, with oil currently trading at about $107 per barrel. The development is expected to add pressure to domestic inflation in the incoming months, although institutions such as the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and Fitch Ratings still expect Ghana to end the year with single-digit inflation.
And that's how we wrap up on the business update segment on the Koko Digest Morning Show. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Peter Nsia. Up next is the main discussion with Yaira Awono. Please stay with us.
Yeah, welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, it's time for the main discussion. And like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about understanding environmental protection, especially the Environmental Assessment Regulations 2025. And joining me in this conversation is Mr. Moses Ayi. He is the area head of the Environmental Protection Authority. That's at the Wager Area Office. That's the Environmental Protection Authority here in Ghana. It's no longer an agency. We're going to be, discussing the LI 2504 and, everything around that, the change from agency to authority and, what we need to understand. So what every business, every developer, and every institution in Ghana needs to know about the new EPA permit and, how to also move with that, what it entails for us as well. So, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. And good morning to your viewers.
Right. Thank you also again. So, before we even start, Environmental Protection Authority, we used to know it as an agency. It's now, we are hearing that it's now an authority. What does that mean? What change does that bring to the authority?
All right. Thank you very much. So, the Environmental Protection Authority that we have now started in the 70s as a council.
Okay.
So there was Environmental Protection Council, and at the time it was given the mandate to advise the minister responsible for environment. Yeah. So it was mainly an advisory body. Okay. Going forward, and with increasing environmental issues within the world and Ghana, it was decided by the government in 1994 through an Act of Parliament 490 that it should be made an agency. Okay. With the agency, it was given the mandate to regulate. So issue the environmental permits or ensure that the environment of Ghana is protected. And then moving forward, so we have used that act from 1994 way up to 2025, where the need for giving more power to the authority to regulate and prosecute, and also considering issues of climate change. Issues of climate change are becoming very rampant now. So the authority has been given a new mandate to include that into its work. Okay. And then during the process of implementing the Act 419, other regulations came in. So the pesticides regulations, the hazardous regulations. So what the new Environmental Protection Act seeks to do is to coordinate all these acts into one body. Right. Okay, so the new Environmental Protection Act not only gives the EPA the authority, so now it's called an authority with enhanced powers, but also to coordinate all the environmental laws within the country, so that it becomes a major body.
Okay, so I know that you now have prosecutional powers, even professionalization of some of the environmental services, even climate mandates. But I think I would like you to touch on the Ghana Carbon Registry. What does that entail for us as Ghanaians and, someone who's watching and does not even know carbon, what it's all about? Okay,
so like I was talking about the issue of climate change. What the authority seeks to do is to encourage industries to bring on board or to do activities that are able to protect our environment, reduce carbon emissions. And in other jurisdictions, what happened with carbon credit is if you're able to generate less or your emissions are such that they do not impact more on the environment, you receive some compensation. So those whose activities are generating more emissions would have to be paying into a fund for those who are generating less who benefit from. Okay, so it's an encouragement for industry to ensure activities that generate lesser impact into the environment. Yes. So when you do less, you get a credit, and then you are able to benefit from the fund.
Okay, so we have the Act 1124 and then the LI 2504. Can you briefly touch on what these, stipulations in our constitution talk about and what, the scope of their directives are?
Okay, so the Act is the mother body that establishes the authority and gives us the power to implement.
Right.
So under the Act, we have a number of regulations.
Okay.
And one of such regulation is the Environmental Protection, into bracket Environmental Assessment Regulation 2025.
Okay.
So the LI 2504.
Okay.
Now the LI seeks to promote environmental protection by ensuring that those who have undertakings that are likely to have impact on the environment go through the process of environmental assessment. Now, the process of environmental assessment is to ensure that we identify our environmental impact from those activities and then, first of all, seek to avoid or reduce or compensate for the impacts that will come from our operations. Another purpose for the LI, the regulation, is also to mainstream climate change into our decision making. Now, one thing about environmental assessment is that it's a planning tool. So it is always advised that even before you initiate a project, you go through the process of identifying your impact. That will help you to take an informed decision on whether to go ahead to undertake an activity in a particular location or to change the technology or the method. Okay, so that's why we said it's a planning or decision-making tool. Okay. So it's an opportunity for us to identify our impact from every activity that we seek to undertake. Okay, so the regulation is also to enhance public participation. Okay, so one of the things that the regulation seeks to do this time is to ensure that all stakeholders are involved in the decision-making of any project at all that is going on around them. So that is what the regulation brings about.
Okay, so translating that to, businesses and other key stakeholders also in our community, how then do they fall under this, and what are their, what's the word I'm looking for? Where do their roles, start and end? Okay.
So the regulation 2504 states that nobody is supposed to undertake any activity for which an environmental assessment is required unless you have gone through the process.
Okay.
So for a business...
So before you even come there, what then would be an environmental activity or an activity that would require an environmental permit?
Okay, so the law, LI 2504, in the first schedule, states out a number of activities that require environmental permits. Okay. So for example, in the agricultural sector, farming activities, aquaculture, fish farming, so agricultural sector activities, logging, forestry activities require you to go through the assessment.
Yeah.
And if given the authority, you'll be given an environmental permit. Then we have the energy sector, so 4 service stations or 4 filling stations, gas stations. Okay, they also require to go through the process.
Okay.
Then we have tourism and hospitality, so our hotels, restaurants, okay, they're also supposed to go through the process to obtain an environmental permit. We have a general construction sector.
Okay.
So we are looking at warehouses, shops, offices. Okay, they also require to go through. So petroleum, mining sectors are all stated in the regulation. So they require environmental permits.
Right.
But then, beyond these activities that are stated, the law provides that where the authority, in its wisdom, realize that there is an activity that is probably not stated in the law, but would have an impact on the environment, the authority can ask you to go through the process of environmental assessment. So you don't just limit to what is stated in the law, but the authority can still go beyond what is stated.
So even though you didn't mention, you mentioned general construction, so I want to ask then that the ordinary Ghanaian who has bought a piece of land and wants to start construction, do they need an environmental permit, or they only need it when maybe they are going to, maybe they want to do some underground parking and might go beyond a certain level of the soil surface?
Okay, so as I mentioned, general construction, I mentioned shops, apartments.
Yeah.
Okay, so as it stands now, for an apartment of one family, EPA does not go into it. But when it's possessed the dimension of commercial, something they are going to rent, it means that it is more than one.
Yeah.
Okay, or that it has a misuse component. There are shops attached to it. You would have to obtain an environmental permit.
Okay.
Yes.
So in a situation where, let's say, Osukoli Clote has been marked that there may be gold somewhere here. So as I've come to buy my piece of land, I'm about to start construction. Do I still need to come to the EPA just maybe in reference to the fact that there could be gold, that would be suitable for mining on my plot of land?
Okay, so once it is not a gold mining activity that you want to undertake, we cannot do assessment for gold mining.
Okay.
Okay. It is, so we do assessment based on the activity you want to undertake. So if it is for construction and what kind of construction it is, and then once it falls within the regulation, you would have to go through the process.
So if I want to now, access the gold on my...
Then you need to come because mining is part of the requirement for environmental permits. Yes.
So I've noticed people calling this number. This number is strictly for WhatsApp and SMS. So please do well to send your messages via text or WhatsApp here. And then when the phone lines are opened, I will do well to alert you so you can call and ask your questions and also share your thoughts. So there seems to be a bit of a difference. So there was LI 1652 and then there's LI 2504. What is the difference? I think 2504 is the update, right?
Yes.
So what then was the 1652 lacking that the 2504 now provides?
Okay, so now in the 2504, you have a redress mechanism.
Okay.
So, for example, if the authority takes a decision which you are aggrieved, so let's assume you have applied for an environmental permit and the authority, after the assessment, realizes that such an activity cannot take place within the location that you have proposed, and you are aggrieved, you are not satisfied. The new regulation makes provision for you to appeal to the board.
Okay.
The board will form a redress committee. They will look into your concerns. So the committee can overturn EPA's decision in your favor, and then also approve what the decision EPA has taken. Yes, so that is one major thing that is in the new one. Also, you can still move ahead to the High Court if you are not satisfied with the decisions that have been taken so far. Okay. So it's one major thing. Now, in the new regulation, you have initially our environmental permits are for 1.5 years, so 18 months. The new regulations make it 2 years. Okay. So it means that companies now have at least 2-year period to operate before you come for the renewal of your environmental permit. The new regulation also gives specific timeline for us to process our permits.
Okay.
Now, there is a document. So, for example, if you are doing a project that is just initial assessment, within 14 working days, the regulation states that EPA should be able to give you your environmental permit. But where you do what we call preliminary environmental assessment, within 25 working days, the authorities should be able to. All those things are now clearly stated. And so it guides the process of ensuring that there is effective service delivery.
Okay. So I remember I cut you and we went into a whole lot of questions when we were talking about the LI 2504, where you said you cannot operate without a valid environmental permit or license. So yes, coming back to that, you were giving us the breakdown of the LI 2504. Yes, so if we can proceed with that. You mentioned the first one. That was when I asked, what would require that. Yes. So the LI 2504, what's it about?
Okay, so the LI 2504, I think we have, we have touched on it all around. But then also to bring on board areas that are environmentally sensitive places. So places that we can also, that is also clearly stated in this one. So when you go to the second schedule of the LI 2504, it tells us the areas that are environmentally sensitive where no activity is supposed to take place. Okay. So all these are aimed at enhancing or protecting our environment, ensuring that the Ghanaian environment is well protected.
Okay. So what are some of these areas that are sealed off?
Okay. So areas that by law are designated as forest reserves, places that or parks that you cannot go in. So these are legally designated places. Also, prime agricultural places. You know, it's becoming an issue where our agricultural lands are being lost to mining, to sand winning, and those things. So the law is seeking to protect those agricultural lands so that we can have a place to farm and to have food supply.
Okay. So does the EPA have a task force that goes around, or that role is delegated to other security services like the police and others?
Okay. So yes, EPA has enough workforce, and the part of the job of the officers is to be on the field to do enforcement.
Okay.
So EPA has officers who go around. In fact, you will notice that our Chief Executive Officer herself has been on the move, going around. Yes. So that is just to show you that even if the boss herself is on the field, then it means that all the staff are supposed to be on the field. So that is what we do. Beyond that, the new act gives room for the establishment of prosecutors, yes, people who can always be on the field. One other thing that it gives is that those people who are, as the authority can even now do search in your home. So when we realize that there is an activity going on in a particular home that has impact on the environment, the authority has the mandate to even enter your house and search. We can also do stop and search for vehicles. So any vehicle that is realized to be used to commit an offense, environmental offense, the authority can stop, search, and then when you are found, they can seize that. So there are officers on the ground, enough officers on the ground.
So do you also partner with the sanitation ministry? I think, is it environmental health? No.
Yes,
or
it's environmental health
officers.
Yes.
All these officers out there who are also supposed to ensure that the environment is.
Yes. So one of the functions of EPA is to collaborate.
Okay.
So we collaborate a lot with all these institutions. We collaborate a lot with the Ghana Police Service, for example, the environmental health unit of the municipal or district assemblies. Yes. And any other relevant stakeholder institution. We do a lot of collaboration to ensure that at the end of the day, our environment is safe for us and for our future generation.
Okay. So assuming someone wants to acquire an environmental permit, what does the process entail? Okay.
All right. So I want to take a bit more time on this one to explain.
Sure thing.
Okay. So the process of obtaining environmental permit, the regulation states, first of all, that I think I have explained some of the activities that require permit. So if you fall within that, it means that you would have to approach the authority, complete an application form in the manner or the form that the authority prescribed. Luckily, until May, we were initially filling a form, but now we have rolled on to digital.
Yes, technology.
So we have rolled on to digital. So you just need to log on to our sites, then you register with your Ghana card number, you register, and then you go through the process. So now this is how the process, after you have registered, your application form online, even when it was the paper, you are supposed to describe the project into detail. So project title, the descriptions, the things that you want to do, the components of the project. And then part of the application form should indicate the location, looking at whether there's any sensitive area around, environmentally sensitive area. Then you should also indicate your adjoining land uses or facilities. Okay. So where your project is located, what are the adjoining facilities? These are key for decision making. In your application, you should be able to identify the environmental impacts that will be coming out from your operation, whether it is during construction or operational phase. Okay. And then the law requires that you should make commitment in resolving these issues. So, for example, you should make mitigation or state mitigation measures that you will be putting in place to address the impacts that are likely to come from your operation. Okay. Now, like I said, one of the new aspects of the new LI is that public participation is key. So it is also expected that you engage your neighbors. So we call it stakeholder engagement or neighborhood consultation. And then you feed the system or you give information on those people you have engaged and what their concerns are. And then you fill in your declaration and the application is submitted. Okay. So when the application is submitted, the authority will review your documents. Now remember, you are submitting an application together with other supporting documents. So for example, your site plan, your architectural drawing, and then the neighborhood consultation forms. The authority will now review these documents and then also engage in screening. So that is site visits to actually assess the project in relation to the environment in which you are. Then a decision will be taken on your application. Necessary fees will be paid. And then
there are fees to be paid.
There are fees to be paid. Okay. Prescribed by law.
Okay, so are these fees also, different for every sector?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So after the permit has been acquired, are there any other obligations by whoever is acquiring?
Okay, sure. Now, but I just want to add that it's not automatic that you have an environmental permit when you submit.
Okay.
So there are decisions that are taken. So either we give you permit, or you are refused, or you are asked to submit an additional information. Okay. So those are the options available. So it's likely you have submitted application and you may not obtain environmental permit. But when you are given permits or the authority approves your application, you'll be given a permit and permit conditions. So the certificate goes with a list of do's and don'ts. So the conditions are that you should do A and don't do this. Okay. You should follow this, you should do this, you should do this monitoring, and you should submit reports, annual environmental reports, to the authority to see how you are impacting the environment and how you are cleaning up. Okay. And then the follow-up is that once we have become, let's say, married couples, and there's no divorce until maybe you are doing decommissioning. Even if you are doing decommissioning, you have to still obtain a permit from the authority. So you have to be renewing your environmental permit, as I said, by the new law, every 2 years. So you have to renew your environmental. So those are the commitments. They have to be renewal of your environmental permit.
So I want to make this a little practical for our viewers. Now, assuming I have a plot of land and then I want to start a poultry farm. This is in the agriculture sector. Would you advise that I come and obtain the permit before I even go into investing in the chicks?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I indicated that the environmental assessment is a planning tool, a decision-making tool. So if you go through the process, it helps you to understand the issues, how you can mitigate them. But if you start the process and later realize that you cannot do A, B, C, D here, then you have wasted money. So it is always advisable it's not a punishment, okay? Anyone who is interested in protecting our environment and ensuring sustainable development should not see this as a punishment or that it is just too much. It's a burden. If you want to do business in Ghana and they say do this, do that. But this is a decision-making tool. Okay. It helps you to come out with the impacts from your operations. So together with the authority, you are able to put in place measures that will minimize the impact. Okay. So it is best you come, do the assessment. Once you are cleared and given the necessary guideline, you can then move ahead to do the implementation.
So you also mentioned commercial aspects where maybe shops and all of that. Now, there are certain people who may have their homes and then a shop in the home. Are they also in any of these categories?
Yes. So shops.
But the shop, somebody will say, "Oh, it's provision store. What will I do to the
Yes. So once the law states that shops are part, we would have to go with that.
Okay.
Yes.
So
because they also generate some level of waste. Okay, that impacts the environment. Okay. So they will have to be regulated.
So do you also tend to go around checking, shops, farms, all these sectors that were mentioned? Do you check for their licenses every now and then?
Yes, we do.
And if they are found wanting, what happens? Do you close it down or give them time to come and obtain one?
Yes. So I think I mentioned that even our chief executive officer and other top officials are on the field. So it's a normal thing, and compliance enforcement is a normal thing for the authority. So we go around to check whether people are, first of all, in compliance with the law, and also for those who even have our permit, whether they are in compliance with the permit conditions. Okay, so we are not just checking whether you have permits or not, but also to ensure that you are following the conditions of the permit that is given to you. So when we visit and you do not have the permit, and the authority realize that this activity can coexist with other adjoining facilities there, we give you room to regularize, to go through the process and obtain an environmental permit. But where it is realized that your activity is not suitable for the place, the authority can close you down. So we do that.
Oh, okay. So with this LI 2504 that has come, what changes or what do the people who already have an environmental permit need to do differently now?
Okay, so like I said, once you have an environmental permit and you are still in existence as a company or a holder of an environmental permit, you will still have to do a renewal of environmental permit. So the law requires that you still come back at the right time to do the renewal. The requirement is that 3 months before the permit expires, you are supposed to take steps to start the process of renewal. So we are still in business.
So with the renewal, how long does it take?
So the renewal is still... You mean the process? So the process, as I said, if it is one that requires initial assessment within 14 days, you should have your permit. Okay.
No, but let's say I already have a permit.
Yes, we still do, because we still do the same things that we do. We still do inspection because we are not just granting permit, but we want to be sure that you are abiding with the permit condition. So we still do inspection to ensure that you are following the permit conditions. Okay, so the same process goes through, and then the fee regime also goes through. So you still have within that window of 14 days to have your environmental permit renewed.
Okay, I'm going to ask a controversial question at this point. So what measures do you put in place to prevent, citizens from bribing officers to allow them to operate and, still obtain their permit while maybe whatever they are doing is not suitable for the environment?
Okay, so I think that the best option we have now is this online system. However, APA process is not for one man to grant permits.
Okay, it's a whole system.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the bribing side, I don't know how it's feasible to be, because the process starts. There is a place for review where a committee called Technical Review Committee sits on the application to decide whether the application should. So if officers visit the site, take a decision. That doesn't end there. Does not mean that you are granted a permit.
And they are not also likely to meet the citizen who owns.
No, you do, because you have to take us to site.
Okay.
Yes. So
what if in that?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That even if there is something like that, the officer's decision is not final.
Okay.
You understand? So the application goes to a different stage, and then before it is approved. Yeah. So Yes.
Right. Thank you. So the APA issued a nationwide enforcement notice in January this year. And so I want to ask, what prompted that action, and what does it signal about, how serious this LI 2504 is?
Okay. So the Act 1124, like I said, has now given authority to the EPA. So it is in compliance with the act that the directive was issued, that they should take note that we have prosecutorial powers now, we can chase you, and so why don't you do the right thing by coming and then let us go through the process. And so that's what the notice is about to all of our citizens. If you have any project or there's any project you are undertaking, a report to the authority, let's go through the process of assessment and also to help. I don't think that EPA's idea is to kill businesses, but to ensure that while you do your business, the environment is secured and is protected for the generations to come. So
I came across something called undertaking in my 2x4 research. What is an undertaking? How, like, please just, what's an undertaking all about?
All right. So the EPA's term undertaking is what you will call projects. Okay. So it's what we call projects. So for example, if I decide to build shops, we call it undertaking. Okay. So that's what you want to undertake. Okay. You will call it a project. A building project or building something. Yes. Or for example, beyond construction, if I want to do manufacturing, okay, we call it an undertaking. But you call it manufacturing. Okay. Yes. So
it's just a term.
Yes, it's a term. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we have a question here from Ni Otua in Tema. And he's asking, a developer begins building on a wetland without proper environmental approval, and months later, the community starts experiencing severe flooding. Under the LI 2504, who should be held accountable, and could this disaster have been prevented?
Okay. So the environmental protection job, it's a collaboration work. Citizens and all of us, institutions, the government. Now, development control is done by the assemblies. Okay. So it's the assembly's job, first of all, to ensure that no development takes place in a place that is not supposed to be. And of course, if a citizen also realizes that there is a pollution somewhere, you can report to the authority or so complain to the authority. The authority will take it up. And again, during our enforcement routines, when officers realize that there is a pollution going on somewhere or the destruction of environmentally sensitive place, such as wetland, going on, we also take actions from there.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So, Ekia in Kumasi is saying a mining company comprises jobs and development to a rural community, but years later, the river is polluted and farmlands are destroyed. Does the LI 2504 give communities enough power to protect their environment before the damage is done? EPA is working, but work harder.
Anyway, thank you. We are working. Nature expects that we should. Yeah. So as a citizen, when you realize that there is a distraction somewhere, complain to the authority. We do investigation, and then we take it out from there.
So I was fighting really hard not to ask mining questions. But since a viewer has brought it up, this LI versus Galamsey, what is the future looking like?
Okay, so I think that we have all agreed as a nation that Galamsey is illegal. Yeah, so once it's illegal, it should be treated as such. However, what the authority is doing, which is in the news, is that we are moving from places to places, even seizing the equipment that are being used for the operation. You read that the Chief Executive Officer herself has been in the mining areas, ensuring that those areas where, or even shops that are being used to store some of these chamfan machines or houses that are being used to assemble them are all stopped. And then we also have a unit at the port that is even checking from the port whether those machines are coming in. So once, those are the fights or the few things that we are doing to stop or to control.
So you mentioned that one of your roles you play is to collaborate. So is it safe to say that you collaborate with NIMOS and Blue Water Guard and the police and military?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Fred Kumar in Dansoman is asking that a young entrepreneur wants to start a factory to create jobs, but delays in environmental permits are environmental permit approval are slowing the project. Is the LI 2504 protecting the environment or creating barriers for business growth?
Okay. I think I stated from the LI that there are timelines for permitting. Now, the challenge with the system is that when you are submitting application, you are supposed to submit some requirements. Okay. If those requirements are submitted fully, the application goes through the process and there is no delay anywhere. Okay. But where we have to now ask you to submit an additional information and it takes you longer time, we do not count that time that it takes you to bring the documents. Okay. Yes. So that is not part of our timeline. But if you are able to submit your documents, the process goes through. And the law, the LI is actually protecting you that within 14 days for initial assessment, your permit should be ready. And that within 25 working days, if you have everything in place, maybe you are asked to bring a zoning letter and you are able to submit it within record time. You are asked to submit a preliminary environmental assessment report and you are able to submit it within 25 days, you should be able to have your environmental permit.
Okay, for the sake of clarity, when you say present documents, what does that entail? Because I think the ordinary citizen knows of Ghana card, NHIS, maybe their passport.
Okay, that's fine.
Documents
that's fine.
You mentioned preliminary environmental assessments as well. Where would they also acquire these things from?
Okay. All right. Okay. So as a developer or someone who seeks to obtain an environmental permit, depending on what you want to do, we require that you submit a site plan. Because our permits are site specific. So we want to know where the facility will be sited. Okay. So site plan. Or if you are renting an already existing building, we expect that you give us a tenancy agreement. Okay. Then there should be a block plan detailing the components of your project. Okay. So that is taken from the architectural drawing. So you upload your architectural drawing. And then the neighborhood consultation. So EPA has a form that you will fill and then your neighbors will also fill it and then you add it. So that's why when you approach EPA, the form is given to you. Now with that should work for an initial assessment. Okay. But where your project demands that you should do some higher level of assessment so that you would have to come out with detailed impacts and then mitigation. That goes into the preliminary environmental assessment. Okay. Yes. And then there's another one, EIS. Okay. So the preparation of the document should be done by the developer or the person we call proponent. Or if it's a company, the proponent. EPA does not provide for you the technology you want to use. Okay. So you would have to come out with the technology you want to use, what you intend to do, what the impacts are, and then the mitigations. Okay. So in some instances, people get consultants, so they are environmental consultants, which the law now requires EPA to also certify. So very soon, we will be certifying environmental consultants as well, so that they can produce quality reports. Okay. So you can also engage certified environmental consultants to help you with the process. But whatever it is coming from you. So whatever report is generated, you have to own it as something that is coming from you.
Okay. So you mentioned the, stakeholder engagement, the neighbors, right? Is there a cap on how many neighbors you should speak to, or you can go free range, or even one neighbor is enough?
If there's only one neighbor, you do one neighbor. If there are two, you do. If there are more, you do. So for example, if I'm building in this space and there is only one neighbor, the rest of the place, adjoining facilities are undeveloped or road, and then even beyond the road, there are no buildings there or there are no residences there, facilities there, you do only the one.
Okay, so like this is where we are. There's my bearings are pretty poor, so I'll just mention we have
North, South, East, West.
Yes. So we have Ministry of Works and Housing and then Fisheries just somewhere. We have the Labour. We have GRA just behind. We have the stadium. We have Ministry of Education around. will someone who wants to do something have to speak to all of them, or maybe pick two and...
Once they are within your neighborhood, you would have to engage them.
Every single one of them.
Yes. The essence of the engagement is so that it helps you in the decision making. Somebody will be able to tell you a concern that you can factor into your decision making. Okay. And then it also helps you to inform your neighbors so that they are in the known what will be happening here.
Okay.
Yes.
So even with those estates and things where there are about 15 houses, you would still have to go to everybody and make sure you get their input.
You mean within an estate?
Yes.
So if it's within an estate, then it means that the estate have acquired the environmental permit for that portion of land. So they will have to do beyond. But if you are already within the estate, I think that the permit covers.
Okay. So we have a pretty lengthy one. This is in Cancer in Koligono. She says, my community here, we wake up one morning to discover that a large waste processing company has been granted approval to operate close to homes, schools, and a nearby stream. At first, residents were excited about the promised jobs and economic activity, but months later, they began complaining about strong odors, noise pollution, contaminated water, and increasing health concerns among children. The company insists that it followed all legal processes and obtained the necessary environmental permits, while residents argued that they were never properly consulted before approval was granted. Under the Environmental Protection, Environmental Assessment Regulations 2025, that's the LI 2504, how much power should the communities have in decisions that directly affect their environment and health, and should economic development ever take priority over environmental safety?
Okay, so still going back to the LI, that has a reason of ensuring public participation. You have the right to lodge a complaint with the authority. For example, I indicated that protection of the environment is a collective job for all of us, citizens. And so if you have realized something going on, please lodge a formal complaint to the authority. Sometimes you can even send to our website. The authority will follow up, do proper investigation, and then when there is a need for any form of sanction or any decision, the authority will take in the aim of protecting the environment and public health.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the tester should lodge a formal complaint to the authority.
But in this situation where, all this company has gotten the license and everything, but considering the fact that you mentioned that they do certain assessments, and with some of the components of this question where there are homes, schools, and all of that around, and yet this company was permitted to operate there, is that not a problem from the EPA itself?
No.
Yeah.
So like I said, the environmental assessment process helps you to make decisions. So when decisions are made and you are given conditions with a permit, so there is likelihood that what we are talking about is a failure on the part of the holder of the environmental permit from adhering to the permit condition. And that is how come the impact is being felt. Okay. The authority once a while, as part of our enforcement activities, even visit some of these facilities. So should in case the authority even chance on this before this caller is talking, we would have taken an action. Okay. But where, let's assume that we have not yet experienced it ourselves, you have any issue, you can always reach out to the authority, and then a decision will be taken. In fact, one of the powers of the authority is to revoke your permit.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is stated clearly that we can revoke your permit when you are not following the permit conditions.
Okay.
So I cannot speak whether this person has environmental permit or not. But if you have an environmental permit and you are violating it, it is illegal according to the law. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you can be punished for it, you can be prosecuted, you can be charged for it, the permit can be revoked.
Okay. So wrapping up, you've ended up giving me one more question to ask, but I want to finally ask that what are some of the options available to applicants who receive unfavorable decisions from the EPA, how can they also appeal? You mentioned that earlier, but I think with this question, it's more of when do they also get the chance to appeal? Because obviously, if, let's say, with this waste company, because there are schools and homes there, in an ideal situation, the EPA would not give them permission because it's going to cause a little bit of health problems. But in a situation where now the holder of, or the person, the proponent, now gets to appeal, where or what are the options for the person?
All right, thank you very much. So the law says that you should apply to or appeal to the board, the EPA board. The board will form an appeals committee. Okay. So the appeals committee will hear your case and listen to all other sides of the issue and then take a decision, which will be communicated to the aggrieved person and even published on our website.
Okay.
If you are still not satisfied, the law still gives you room to appeal to the High Court.
So when do you get to appeal then?
Once you feel aggrieved, just appeal.
Oh, but you see,
yes.
Let's say, this waste thing. So someone wants to.
You mean the community or the proponents?
The proponents. So
yes.
let's say the person wants to operate a landfill site, right? In a community where people live. So EPA has told this person that, come on, people live here. This is going to bring a lot of health hazards. Yeah. Does that person still have the right to appeal?
Yes. Once you are free under the law to appeal.
But EPA
and
has
it does not mean that when you appeal, EPA will say yes, go and do it.
But
yes.
I was thinking that maybe there are certain sorts of regulations or if it is going to be health hazard or environmental degradation, you're not going to be given, so you cannot even try to appeal. That's what I was
so our refusal counts with reasons. You understand? So it counts with reasons A, B, C, D as to why you cannot be granted. But if you feel strongly that you can put in A, B, C, D to address the issues and that the reasons EPA is giving is not concrete enough, yes, you can go ahead and appeal. The appeals committee will look at it, the merits of your case, and either approve EPA's decision and said, or reject EPA's decision and said, this person can do A, B, C, D, and to go. Then the whole system will go through again. EPA will also make its case and then take a decision.
Okay.
Yes.
So John is asking, are there stricter punishments for polluters and illegal miners? Yes. Especially now with their prosecutorial roles. So they are very strict.
Yes.
Is it as far as prison?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, once you are taken to court, the law prescribes some sanctions for polluters.
Okay.
Yes, where you can be charged fees. You can also be prosecuted in court.
Okay.
Yes. So all of that are in the law.
Well, all too soon, this very educative conversation has come to an end. And I'd like to take your key message that if we didn't learn anything, what would you want us to at least take from this conversation?
Thank you very much. I want to say that the protection of the environment is a divine mandate from God to all of us. So when God created the world, He says that we should take care of it and manage it.
Yeah.
You understand? So we expect that citizens, whether you are traditionalists or you are Christian or Muslims, in fact, I've taken time to read from these three major groups and realize that in their operations, they have something that has to do with the protection of the environment. And so it means that it's something that we should take seriously. And also to add that when EPA is calling for us to go through the environmental assessment, it is for us to ensure a sound environment. So the assessment is just a planning tool. Of course, you may be asked to make some few payments for cleaning up of the environment, but it is for our good and it is for the good of our future generations.
All right. Thank you so much. So I'd like to also share with us the website. Yes. Oh, where did I see it? Okay, please. The website. I can't find it in my document.
Okay, so clients or proponents who want to obtain environmental permits, you log on to https://client.epa.gov.gh. Yes, I think we will share with you to actually
we'll put it on
publicize for us.
Media.
Yes.
Okay. So,
yes.
But what's the general website? It's epa.gov.gh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. www.
Okay. So www.epa.gov.gh is the general website, and then when you want to apply, that's the client.
That's the client one. Yes. And our offices are also available. Yeah. We are just close by. The head office is here. My office is located at Weja, within the Weja Municipal Assembly. And we are overseeing about 3 municipalities there: Ablekuma North, Wejagba, Wega South. There's also another office at Lejokuku here. Okay. Then there's also one other office at Madina. Then we have a regional office at Amasama. Okay. So you can always get to us. Okay. Yes. And beyond here, the Tema office also has offices there.
All right. Thank you so much. A big thank you to everybody who sends questions and the calls that we were not able to answer because it was WhatsApp. Thank you so much as well. And a big thank you to you too. Thank you, EPA, for educating us on this new enforcement that's coming up now. And also, thank you also for tuning in. We hope that you have an amazing weekend ahead, and we'll see you next week.